This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Walton Rheaume is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Walton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Walton Rheaume can help.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. I hope you had a fantastic and messy-tastic weekend. I know that Sean Stanley had a grandfather-like weekend. Congratulations to you, sir, Grandpa Stanley. Grandpa Stanley.
Yes. I already put it up on my tag. You see it? You see on my headline there? There it is.
It says Grandpa, yes.
Yes, very healthy. It was good. I mean, again, my daughter and her husband, they had the baby Sunday morning at 119, a healthy 7 pounds, 14 ounces, long 22 inches, and all is well. All is good. Got to spend some time with them yesterday, and then now just when she gets discharged probably tonight or tomorrow, then the fun begins. The treks to Coral Springs every other day.
So induced Saturday afternoon at 5.
Induced Friday afternoon. Well, she went in at 5. I don't know. I think they started at around 7, 8. Because they were there at 5:30. And then the total labor time was at 30 hours.
So induced Friday afternoon, the kid didn't come out till Sunday.
Yeah, 1:19 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't want to come. He was comfy.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I know how the kid feels because it happens to me all the time. I sleep like shit, and then the last hour before the alarm rings,
I'm in my best sleep, and the alarm rings, and it's like, yo, dude, can't you, can you put it off for like another half hour, an hour? Like, this was my best part of my entire night, like the last hour of my sleep. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
Yep.
get it. When you're in that comfort, you don't want to leave, bro. So yeah, that's that makes sense. So congratulations, Grandpa Stanley.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody.
There you go. So you got to give Sean congratulations today on being a grandpa. There you go. Good weekend, huh? Good weekend right there. That's all that matters, right? Mama and baby are fine. Get that, and you score big. And that's all it is. That's all you need, baby. Anyway, so that's everything else is downhill after that. I mean, the rest is bullshit after that, right? Because that's what really matters. The rest of the show will be crap that we'll talk about. We just talked about the real stuff that actually matters with Sean and the family this weekend. So there you go. A lot of congrats coming in for Sean, which is well deserved. Nice job. Nice job. I see Brian Walters is in. John Padilla, Think Blue Dodgers, Stephen Harris, P. Crown Vic, Milton Guerrero, Lazaro Barrios, Chad is in, Bustamante is living the dream, Gus 1388, Giovanni says, Big O, personally getting tired of all these top running backs in the NFL whining about their job pay. Shut up. The NFL is becoming less bell cow and more running back by committee. Maybe one day it's the QBs. Who knows? Yeah, well, I doubt they'll do the committee thing with quarterbacks, then that'll be a disaster. But it's just part of the change. Fullbacks didn't whine as they disappeared. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes. Things evolve, and this is part of the development of running backs. What are you going to do? Tua Time is in the house. Jamie Zoria out in San Jose. Nyborg is in. Zuko in. Jeffrey Tarabolis is in the house. KSDT CPAs. Many questions was answered. What a difference Messi made to this team. Jeffrey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about what happened on Friday night. Okay? Whether you're 15 years old, whether you're 35 years old, whether you're 56 years old, whether you're 76 years old, whether you're 96 years old. Okay? Any of you that are South Floridians for a while, do you know what happened on Friday night? Something huge happened on Friday night. Of course, it's Messi. Of course, it's a game winner. Of course, it was a beautiful free kick from outside the box. I get all of that. I know he's done it several times. I'm sitting there with my wife. In fact, if you go back and look at the tweets, go look in the 66th minute, I think it was, I said, game is tied 1-1. The stage is set for Messi to win this thing. And then we almost had the Messi magic on the Martinez pass that he scored, but he was offsides. I tweeted that out too. And then we got the full-time Messi magic. But this was the most important part about this, folks. Soccer in this town has never, ever been a fabric of our society. I have memories of the Strikers when I was a kid. But most of you don't give a shit about the Strikers and Ray Hudson and all the boys. Even when Pelé was part of it. Most of you in town did not give a shit about it. We had the Fusion, and Ray Hudson took over as coach, and we went to the Western Conference Championship. Most of you did not give a shit. Most of you did not pay attention. But most of you
You followed the 72 team, and you watch them go to 3 straight Super Bowls and win 2 of them. You watch the Miami Hurricanes win in 83. You watch the Marlins win in 97, in 2003. You watch the Hurricanes win in 06. The Heat in 06. Then to win in 11 and 12, right? So you have all these moments. You have Ricky Williams, 1,800-yard season. Not a championship, but it's something you remember. You have the miracle in Miami, something that you remember. You have Rex Chapman, 39 points against the Bulls with 8 players. You remember. Are you following me now? Panthers getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. But you do remember Bill Lindsay's goal against the Bruins and Ray Bourque. Getting over the stick of 77 and diving and scoring that goal, right? You remember that moment. We have moments in South Florida sports, the hook and ladder. We have things that we remember that are etched in our minds. Soccer has never been one of them. We don't have a collective moment of soccer because when the Fusion was rocking and when the Strikers were rocking, it was only a portion of us that actually cared. On Friday night, everyone tuned in. On Friday night, you baptized a lot of people that said, hey, I might be interested in this Inter Miami thing. That Messi guy might be as good as everybody says he is. So the fringe fan, the one that's not even a fan, you got them on board. They saw that moment on Friday night. It's Miguel Cabrera taking Roger Clemens opposite field. It's those kind of moments in South Florida sports history, whether they were winning moments, championship moments, or just memorable sports moments. A.J. Dewey with 3 interceptions. When those kind of moments, when they happen, Lamar Smith, 200 yards, and everybody kind of remembers the picture of Dave Wanstead on his back after that playoff game and all that. All those kind of things that are etched in our minds for years and years and years, and things that we remember. That's what happened. And it took Messi. It took, one of the greatest player, second greatest, third greatest player. I don't give a shit where you want to rank them, bro. Who cares? It's a silly argument. Just one of the gods of the sport comes to our town, puts on this uniform, and does that on Friday night. He did something that no one was able to do in soccer, because a lot of you don't give a shit about the Miami FC in the U.S. Open Cup, and we're at FIU and we're watching them beat one MLS team after another. They beat 3 MLS teams that year. None of you care. You don't remember. You don't remember Diego Serna powering through and scoring a bunch of goals for the Fusion. You know what I mean? These are things that are etched in my mind, but I'm a soccer fan. I've been a local soccer supporter and fan forever. Anybody that follows the show knows. If you followed me for 30 years here, you know that I've always been a pro soccer guy. So I have plenty of great memories from being a kid and going to a couple games to being the announcer for the Fusion and being at all the games, and the same thing for the Miami FC and even the beginning of Inter Miami. I have lots of great memories, but it's just, it's me and Michelle Kaufman and Jeff Rusnick and, some of the main soccer people that covered the sport down here. You know what I'm saying? We got some new people like Panizo, who does an excellent job, but it's it's one of those things where it never got to a point where it was mainstream. And what Messi did on Friday night, he made it mainstream. Something that nobody had been able to do. Take it from me as a guy that loves soccer and loves all of our local teams. That's what happened on Friday night. The crossover happened. Their ratings are going to, not just internationally, not just nationally, but locally now. You're going to have more people than ever tuning into Inter Miami games. And on Friday night, that kind of drama is what sets that stage. Big time. Big time. So that's what crossed my mind on Friday night, Jeffrey. And don't forget to call our friends at KSDT CPAs. All right. Especially for those of you that didn't, if you haven't done your taxes in the last couple of years, use that QR code, by the way, because, Biden and the boys are going after the people that haven't filed their taxes in the last few years. So, you need to use that QR code and they will take care of you. Business taxes, personal taxes. Maybe you're a little late from the one here on April. Use that QR code and reach out to our friends at KSDT CPAs. Top 200 firm, according to Forbes. Steven Gonzalez is in the house. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate you. And we are right there to Dolphins camp. Emilio Hernandez. Giovanni is in. Let me see. Stephen Harris reminds everybody to hit the hell out of that like button. Jay Gelfin is in. Watching Messi Friday was so amazing. How his footwork and skills, the way he passed the ball on point was so unique. It was like all those players didn't belong in the same field with him now. Well, and Busquets was putting some freaking nice passes. Okay, so wait till you get Martinez up to snuff. Wait till you get Busquets up to snuff and Messi up to snuff where they can all play a full game. And Jordi did not play in that game. So you're going to get Jordi Alba in there. And you got those two young guys, the 20-year-olds, which they must be dynamite young players. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be, at least we're going to have a lot of fun. And what's really important is, Tuesday, tomorrow, we've got the Leagues Cup again against Atlanta. And the Leagues Cup and the U.S. Open Cup, I find it, listen, making the playoffs is going to be near impossible, okay? Just practically impossible. You're going to have to win every single game and maybe even need some help along the way. And I don't know if they can do that. But I'll tell you this. If you can entertain like that and win as much as you can down the stretch, but if you can really challenge and win the Leagues Cup or the U.S. Open Cup or both or just one, that would be enormous to just kind of start getting winning going for the team. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. But see, they played Friday, now they play Tuesday. So Messi's not in that shape yet. Neither is, and he played like 40 minutes on Friday. But he's not getting a full week of rest either. So it's just like kind of compounds the problem. You know what I'm saying? So they've got to be very, very, very careful. Frankie Fresco, my question is, why did they not move a little the times? Why would you put Messi's debut in the U.S. women's game? I don't think they're that's not something that they were worried about. You know what I'm saying? So, and remember, bro, there's DVRs now. Everybody's got one because all the app itself is one. So you can go back and watch everything. So your streaming numbers are still there. It's not a big deal anymore. Let's see.
Sweet Baby Ray says, good morning, Big O. Stay in Tallahassee over the weekend and had Raising Cane's and Whataburger. Both were out-of-body experiences everyone must try. There you go. Raising Cane is good. I like Raising Cane. They do a good job. And Whataburger is one that, we always got to have. What did Hateful Steve think of Messi? Hateful Steve did send me what's it called? A Venmo this morning, but it was about the U.S. women's team. And it was hateful. It was consistent. A-Chain, our new Darren Sproles, Brian Westbrook. We shall see. We shall see. Inter Miami will definitely be something special next year. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The worst news that could happen to the Miami Marlins baseball team happened. I mean, it was inevitable. The Moss brothers weren't going to stay down very long. They still have to improve the franchise itself, like in the sense of building around. But you knew that they were gonna eventually land some international players. I told you. Moss brothers are going to spend. They're not going to screw around. They just got to fix some of the ancillary things, presentation, and then they've got to definitely get better in the building of talent department. But we'll see. Big O, I'm up in Philadelphia and went to the Premier League games here last night. Newcastle versus Aston Villa, 44,000 people tie, 3-3, fun game to watch. Well, you're watching high-quality soccer, man. So, definitely. I won tickets from you a couple years back for Miami FC and had a great time, Alex says. I'm glad you had a good time. That was a hell of a run that Miami FC was on. Another great owner, Ricardo Silva. Another great freaking owner. That guy's awesome, dude. We're pretty lucky with the Moss brothers getting Inter. Because, it's funny. I was listening. That's the other thing. On Friday, I'm listening to all this gibberish. And I get that, Taylor Twellman was like yanking on the chain of David Beckham a lot. And that's nice. David Beckham would have been a failure. I mean, it's the Moss brothers, bro. David Beckham was dead in the water. He was going to put the stadium in a spot in Miami that was just brutal. Wasn't even he couldn't do anything right because he didn't have any leadership and he didn't have any he didn't understand our town. If it wasn't for the Moss brothers, we can pick on them and say, oh, they've made a lot of mistakes, and yeah, they have, and so does everybody that starts a new business. Everybody that starts a new business makes a shit ton of mistakes, and that's normal, and I've told you guys. And I'm the first guy to tell you, they've been a disaster. The way they've handled certain things, their presentation at times, they go cheap on it. I've lived it. I've watched it. They've made their mistakes. But I told you every single time, eventually they're going to win. They're going to spend money. Nobody builds a stadium like they did for fun. That shit is out of control, what the Moss brothers did in Fort Lauderdale. Nobody will do that. Not Wayne Huizenga, not Mickey Arison. No one will ever do something like that. No one. No, I'll build a stadium so I can get the team here for now while I build the real stadium. Nobody does that. Mickey Arison paid for the arena up front and forced the taxpayer to pay him back. We built that arena, the AAA. He didn't. He put up the check initially to get it started, but the agreement is to pay him back over the 30 years. I think they pay him back like $6 million a year or some shit. Nobody does it. And that's when the Moss brothers were sickly committed.
when they do something that crazy. Because once they move to Miami, that stadium is going to be a ghost town. Unless you have concerts or international games. And why would the Moss Brothers play the international games there? They're going to play them in their stadium down in Miami. So, the academy's there. You'll have the minor league play there, but that stadium won't have nearly as much action once they're gone. And they keep improving the stadium now because they've got Messi now. So they've got to add stuff to that stadium. It's only going to get better and better. Broward County wins because Broward County wouldn't spend a penny to do something like that. Okay, so it was inevitable. Worst news is for the Marlins. Clock is ticking. Bruce Sherman, your team's lost 8 of 9. You avoided 3 straight sweeps. You've lost 3 straight series since coming out of the break. What's going on? Where's the moves? It's the 24th. You got 7 days left in this month. Talk to me. Or no, 6 days, right? Is this a 30th or a 31? I think this is a 30, right? So what's the deal? You got a week left to get this shit done. Is he going to make a trade?
It's a 31.
It's a 31? Okay. Oh, that's right. 'Cause it's the knuckle thing, right? This is the one that you count it twice. Is that what it is? Because September is a 30. So then you go from 30. Yeah, no. Okay. So so August is also a 31, right? That's what it is. Because September is a 30, not a 31. October is a 31. So
yes, you're correct.
Back.
July and August 31. Yep.
Right. Isn't that the thing where you would count your knuckle twice when you do the thing counting the months? Anyway, so worst news that could happen for the Marlins. So it's going to happen now. They beat the Rockies yesterday, 3-2. Rays got the RBI single in the 10th. Thank God. Went 3 of 4. Got the average up to 379. Luzardo was terrific again yesterday. 13 Ks in 7 innings. 1 earned run. It wasn't his fault. They're half a game out of the wild card. They've got 2 teams in front of them now in that wild card race. They're off tonight. Tuesday, they're at the Rays. The Rays haven't been playing nearly as well. So where's the trade? Because they clearly need to make a trade, right? I mean, you talk the talk. You better walk the walk, bro. The soccer team that's competing against you, they are going to spend. And they're going to, next year, they are going to dominate. They are going to electrify the league next year and this town. So you better wake up, Marlins. You just got a team that is going to suck the entire life out of anything you're doing because they're going to be focused on what's going on in Fort Lauderdale. So Miami Marlins, you got another week to make a move. Because I don't think you're going to be making much moves in the waiver trading deadline. That becomes a little bit more difficult. So what's going on? Because from here on out, they'll be looking at every Messi game, and then football season starts, and then basketball season starts, and you're done. So, this guy Bruce Sherman talked about helping Kim Eng. You obviously need some help because you got the Inter Miami squad now on the rise. It's interesting. We're going to talk to Ira at the bottom of the hour here.
but we have two teams in town that played the long game, and one of them already landed it. Now we're waiting for the second one. And what I mean by, well, actually, let me go three. Let me go three teams played the long game this year. First of all, we start with the Dolphins. The Dolphins played the long game with their defensive coordinator. The rumor was there for over a year. Then finally, the season ends. They immediately let the defensive coordinator go. Most people thought the special teams coordinator actually did a worse job than the defensive coordinator, and they kept him and they stayed the course. And even with him saying, oh, I haven't made a decision, all that, and some of you were panicking, they had their guy. They knew the guy they wanted. It was all set. They set themselves up to open the door for Vic Fangio, and they got it. In comes the Inter Miami squad. They did not allow anybody to wear number 10 and number 5. They did not allow to buy for the public to purchase second half single game tickets. You could buy in the LA Galaxy, the New York Red Bull, Charlotte, any team, any MLS team, you could have bought a second half ticket for September, August, whatever. Not Inter Miami. You could not. They did everything to set themselves up to make sure they made the move for Messi and Busquets. And here it is. How about the Miami Heat? The Miami Heat allowed two guys to leave in free agency. They jettisoned Oladipo to open up more salary. They've got the salaries in place ready to trade in Lowry in that exchange, the expiring deal, possibly Duncan Robinson. They've set themselves up where they're making also the long play for the move of Damian Lillard, and they're patiently waiting this whole thing out. They're not making any other moves. Everything that they've done is kind of to set themselves up for this move for Damian Lillard. So it's interesting how the Heat set themselves up for Vic Fangio. Inter Miami set themselves up for Messi and Busquets. All we need now is to finish off the trifecta and Damian Lillard coming to town. And guess what? We'll talk more about that next with Ira Winderman from the South Florida Sun Sentinel.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Good morning, Ira. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I survived many hours at the Big Three at the Kaseya Center yesterday. Those guys tried to put on a show, but got to see Beasley, got to see Chalmers, got to see Gary Payton. So more of a reunion tour than anything.
That the Big Three stuff, the what is it? The Ice Cube stuff. Do you enjoy it at all?
There. Ice Cube was there, so yeah.
Do you enjoy that? Because I could not get into it.
I enjoy the nostalgia part because I know some players, so it was more about seeing guys and and sort of being around names like that. Again, they're trying to play at these big arenas. They don't need these big arenas. They don't get that kind of crowd. But this is typical off-season made-for-TV stuff. So, look, it's the slow season right now until we get into NFL preseason. There's not a lot going on, so they're trying to fill the void. Look, it's nice to see Michael Beasley enjoying basketball.
What was the crowd like?
4,000. They closed the upper bowl. I'd say there was about 4,000. And again, you know how it is, Big O. They paper the stands for a lot of those things. So I'm sure that was the case also.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. But interesting, right? Leading into your thing, how three teams kind of set themselves up playing and setting it up and kind of the long play to kind of make the acquisition. So two have been successful. The groundwork has been laid out for the Miami Heat to try to acquire Damian Lillard. What's the hurdles that are happening right now?
The hurdles are as simple as Portland Trailblazers going, give us everything you have. It's like, instead of saying what an equitable trade is, they're going, what do you have? And the Heat are saying, well, we have these draft picks, and we have these players, and we have these prospects. And the Blazers going, okay, we'll take them all. Well, that's not how you make a trade. And that's not how you make a trade for a 33-year-old player with $200 million left on his contract when there is no tangible interest from any other team to spend that kind of money on that kind of player. So you know what, Big O? If waiting saves the Heat 1 or 2 or 3 first-round picks, there's no downside to waiting. And like you said to your lead-in, you're not going to remember what you lost. No one is going to be talking about the Miami Heat losing Gabe Vincent and Max Strus if you land Damian Lillard. So this is one of those things we all rush to do our free agency report card and off-season report card. The Heat are a total incomplete right now. If they get Damian Lillard, fantastic offseason. If they don't get Damian Lillard, a negative offseason because they lost 2 playoff starters. But again, there's not another tangible game that counts until the end of October. We have 3 more months. The Miami Heat should not be in such a rush. You remember this, Big O. When they signed Bosh and LeBron James, in order to have the big festival party at the arena, they had to trade first-round draft choices to Cleveland and Toronto to get them under contract in time so they could have Eric Reed ask if they're going to win 7, 8, or 9 championships. They've learned a lesson. These are the dog days of summer. They know the Dolphins are about to start camp. No one's going to be asking every minute anymore. It'll happen when it'll happen. It could happen on the Heat timetable. It could happen on the Blazers timetable. But it's not going to happen solely on the Blazers' terms. Like I've written before at AskIra@SunSentinel.com, mentioned here in the Acura of Pembroke Pines report, you've got to get an equitable deal where both teams agree. So if Portland thinks they're going to sweat the Heat, hey, he's Pat Riley. He don't sweat.
No, and listen, when we look at this whole situation, in the end, Portland doesn't want to see Lillard in training camp. No matter what they say, it would be an absolute disaster to bring him back because then all hell will break loose. So I think by waiting, you probably will end up dealing from more of a side of leverage because as we get closer to training camp, that's what Portland wants to avoid because that will be an absolute circus. The national NBA writers will all be there expecting a Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy Part 2 disaster press conferences. If you remember when those two talked and that whole
in Orlando
thing.
and Dwight asked for a trade, Stan knew nothing about it. It was ugly. Couple of things. Damian Lillard has never played a game off the bench in his NBA career, not regular season, not playoffs. So if you're trying to feature Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe and get them minutes, it just doesn't work. So it's kind of weird, Big O. Every minute that Damian Lillard would play for the Blazers going forward retards the growth of the future of that franchise. So it's actually an abject negative for them for him to be there. The Heat know that. They know that. You know, it's interesting. Damian Lillard has never played a game off the bench in his entire career. Well, Scoot Henderson, as the number 3 pick, probably would like his career to be known as a guy who never played a game off the bench in his career. So he has to start an opening night. So now what about Dame? Well, you sure as hell can't have Dame there unhappy and then not start him also. You know, it's not necessarily AC Green, but you get into the point of longevity. So the Heat know all this. The fact that Cronin sat there at Summer League, and I was at that press conference, and spoke about how the Blazers are sort of in the driver's seat in this situation, no, they're not. Damian Lillard is in the driver's seat. The Heat are sitting alongside of him in the sidecar over there, and the Blazers have to make the best of a difficult situation. NBA teams have had to do this all the time. The Lakers had to do it with Shaq. Other teams had to do it with players they knew they were going to lose, so they trade them at the trading deadline instead of losing them for nothing at the end of a season, which the Blazers could have done. So now they're sitting there, and yeah, I know it's a waiting game that's tedious for our listeners and viewers, but again, there's no game that counts until late October. There is plenty of time for Pat Riley to go to the Amalfi Coast, still come back, and get a deal done.
By the way, Heat fans, don't feel bad. You know what's going to happen in the end. Damian Lillard will be wearing a Heat uniform. Pat Riley will be running the Heat. Joe Cronin will be running the Blazers. Ira Winderman will be covering the Heat.
Sean and I will be on every single day here. Feel bad for Tyler Hero. He's the guy that has no freaking idea where he's going to be. I know we all talk about Brooklyn, but really the guy that's really kind of like hanging in the wind right now, is again, don't feel sorry for him too. He's making a lot of money. He's got a beautiful wife, so his life ain't too bad, but still it's kind of screwed up for Tyler Hero right now.
You know what, Big O? I put it this way. If you're not the number one or number two on an NBA team, it's just life and it happens. If you're not Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo, hell, the Lakers moved off of Shaq. The Sixers have moved all these secondary pieces, the Ben Simmons and other guys over the years. The Heat have done it over their tenure. They traded away after the Big Three era, whether it was Mario Chalmers, whether it was Chris Birdman Anderson. Hell, I'll give you the perfect example. The Heat traded away Eddie Jones. It happens. If you're not the number one or number two on a sport that only plays 5 guys at a time, you have to recognize that. But here's the lovely consolation prize. 4 years at least $120 million. So he'll be able to buy new friends wherever he lands. You have to know this going in. This is the NBA. This is a league more than any other league where great players get traded. And get traded rather frequently when things don't work out, even though they play great. I'll give you an example. The Golden State Warriors were dynastic with the team they had in place, but they wanted to be better. If you remember the first start of the Warriors dynasty, Harrison Barnes was a major component of that team. But then they said, wait a minute, we can get Kevin Durant. And Harrison Barnes would just scoot it off to Dallas, and that's it. Damn good player, damn good career, part of the resurrection of the Kings, but that's what happens. If you're not the number one or the number two guy, hell, look at DeMar DeRozan with the Raptors. He was the face of a franchise. He wasn't Kyle Lowry. He wasn't Kawhi Leonard, who they traded him for, so he was disposable. Tyler will get over this, and this probably won't be the only time in his career that Tyler winds up getting traded. Very good players in this league have been traded a very lot of times.
James Harden is probably a great example of an exploding cigar. And so it could look great, like a beautiful Perdomo cigar, a 10th or a 20th anniversary, beautifully constructed. It pulls great from beginning to end, great flavor. But a James Harden cigar, at one point or another, it's going to explode on you. And so now comes Daryl Morey trying to be Mr. Smart Guy. And so now you keep James Harden because you think you can deal him. Well, all of a sudden, James really wants out of your franchise. You're over asking, for what you think his value is. You're overvaluing him out there on the market. Is this now an exploding cigar on Daryl Morey on the business side? Because either he's sabotaging it, thinking that he wants to keep him, or this guy really just wants to get out and go to the town that has the better strip clubs. It just seems like this is becoming a disaster because Daryl Morey, did he think there was going to be a big market for James Harden? Because there obviously isn't much of a market for James Harden at this point.
No, he thought he was going to sign James Harden to an extension before James Harden opted into the final year of his contract to basically force a trade from there. So he's, you know what? It's caveat emptor with James Harden. You learned it with the Rockets. You learned it with the Nets. You're learning it with the Sixers. It's interesting. You talk about how the Heat might not be doing right by Tyler Hero for loyalty. James Harden's the opposite. He has no loyalty to any team he's on. He is in the wind and he is in his whims to get what he wants. And here's the other part of the NBA. Players also get what they want. And you have to deal with that. That a contract doesn't mean diddly, we found out. Kevin Durant started moaning last season. By mid-trade deadline, he got to Phoenix where he wanted. Players get to be where they want. And we're seeing that now, that with James Harden, the same thing. It's interesting. I would love for the Heat to get Damian Lillard. I think he's a great fit. James Harden is a Hall of Fame all-time talent. I would not like the Heat to get James Harden. I just don't need with that headaches. Damian Lillard has never been a problem. Damian Lillard, you know what he is? He's Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic was a great citizen with the Suns, but he decided he wanted to go somewhere else. His agent helped engineer the trade to the Heat, but he left on good terms with the fans there. He knew his image mattered. Damian Lillard's the same thing. Hey, guys, let's not make this public. Let's just get it done, but it's not. But Harden doesn't give a rat's butt. He doesn't care if the fans in Houston don't like him, the fans in Brooklyn don't like him, the fans in Philadelphia don't like him. He just is in his own sphere. Those are the most dangerous players. Now, if you're Michael Jordan, if you're Kobe Bryant, if you're of that level, Kevin Durant, you can do what you want. James Harden is not of that level. He's a one-dimensional, offensive, mostly selfish scorer who gets assists, but will not get the hockey assist and move the ball. So he's the kind of guy, it's interesting, Big O. We started this segment talking about how I don't think there's a lot of interest in Lillard because he's 33 and has $200 million left. I don't think there's a big market for Harden. Again, I think it's the Clippers who were desperate to make the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard thing work, but I don't think there's a lot of other teams. I would be shocked, and I have been shocked before. I would be shocked if the Heat would ever jump into the James Harden mix. I might be wrong, but I just don't see that.
No. I definitely wasn't asking for that. I'm just thinking Morey's going to have a hard time trading this guy because, his demands are going to be way too much because whatever team he goes to, they're going to have to talk some kind of contract. And then apparently he must be asking for too much. So what's his end game? Trying to keep him for a year or trying to keep
who knows, right? And this could be the perfect example of what Kawhi Leonard did. He went to Toronto for 1 year, and then he bolted for the Clippers. I easily could see James Harden going to the Clippers for 1 year, and Kawhi gets injured again, and Paul George gets injured again, and come next summer, James Harden is off to the next thing. Maybe the Rockets start to turn it around with their draft choices. He wants to go back there. He's going to be in the wind, so there's no guarantee with him. At least with Lillard, and I know he's older. He's under contract for 4 years, for whatever a contract means these days. With James Harden, there is so much uncertainty because he's played this game all over the place. He gave up money to bring in his buddy P.J. Tucker into the Sixers, and now he's running away from his buddy P.J. Tucker, who sort of stuck with the Sixers, who came just to play with Harden. So you never know what it is with him. He is the absolute definition of an NBA independent contractor.
You've been a longtime resident in South Florida, just like I have. Obviously, I'm born and raised here. And, in our history, we have memories of watching the Canes win their first championship. I still remember actually Jim Kelly getting to a Peach Bowl, which was like the biggest shit here in town. We were like on cloud 9 when Kelly and the boys got to the Peach Bowl. We have the Miami Miracle. We have Rex Chapman's 39 points with the Heat with 8 players against Michael Jordan. We have championships galore. Marlins, Heat, Canes, Dolphins way back in the day. And then we have all these magical moments in all these different sports that we can talk about. Even with Jim Larinaga has given us some magical moments. So did Leonard Hamilton, back in the day. Friday night, something that did not ever happen with the Strikers and Ray Hudson, something that did not happen with the Fusion and Ray Hudson, something that did not happen even with Miami FC a couple years ago when they beat 3 MLS teams in their run in the U.S. Open Cup. Soccer never had a moment in South Florida sports history. No matter how many times I've been a part of the other moments when I was a kid or an adult, those were moments for me and for Jeff Rusnick and for Michelle Kaufman, but, we're in the minorities. On Friday night, Messi broke through and made soccer finally a moment for South Florida sports fans. Agree or disagree?
Agree to this point that Ira Winderman sat there and watched the entire broadcast on Univision, even though, because I didn't have Apple TV and I damn well was going to watch that. I had commitments. I couldn't get to the game. I'm going to learn Spanish through Messi. By the end of the MLS season, I'll be fluent, Big O. We can do a bilingual podcast here on our Acura Pembroke Pines report. So I watched that game. You can see the moments. I love the moments just before the goal, the teaching points. On one, when he kicked the ball ahead and there was a little timing and he says, you got to be ready. And the other play when they put him offside because the ball came too late. And he knew even when they scored that was going to be a no goal. So you could already see him synthesizing the game. And then when he has that moment and just that perfect, kick there or whatever, you just said to yourself, hey, this is going to be something special. I almost wish the MLS could jigger the standings so we have like a first half and second half schedule, because they are in such an intolerable hole that I think it's going to be the cups that they play in. They just made this up against the Mexican League to have a cup. There's the Lamar Hunt Cup, the U.S. Open Cup. Those will be the meaningful moments, the balance of this season, because I think if they win out in their regular season schedule, they probably will make it, especially if Messi doesn't play the games on turf that aren't on grass, which he never has before. That's a factor also. But yeah, and again, the whole thing of the stadium not working in Fort Lauderdale, the Miami Stadium is now only going to be about 1,500 more seats than what they have in Fort Lauderdale. I know it'll be more of a luxury setup. There'll be more for the team when they move to Miami, but the attendance is going to be the same. I want to see the games. I know it's hard with the Dolphins and with the Canes, but I want to see games at Hard Rock. I want to see them have that atmosphere. I want to see whether if they beat Atlanta on Tuesday and they advance in the MX Cup, whatever they do, move a game there, play a game there, because you know what the real Messi moment will be? When he scores a goal in front of 70,000 and you get that resonating at Hard Rock. So I think you do whatever you can to create that moment. But yeah, that was absolutely surreal. And again, it was a great night for soccer because I was going back and forth. I was watching the U.S. women's national team, so I was clicking back and forth. I never thought, being down here, Big O, that I would have dual soccer screens going to watch two games at the same time because they both had such meaning. So that made it even more of a night. So yeah, I like what he started. I'm concerned about whether he's going to play on turf or not on the road. That's a concern. But whatever it takes, move games to Hard Rock. It's early enough. The Canes don't play a meaningful game till September. You have that window open right now. Take advantage of it. It is a fantastic soccer venue, and you really fill that place and really create an atmosphere.
Oh yeah, they'll sell every ticket in the stadium if they play there. They're talking about if they make it to the U.S. Open Cup final, that they'll play the final there. If they are in the semifinals, so they're only one win away from being in the finals. And Jordi Alba didn't even play on Friday night, and those guys still are not even. They don't even have their wind yet. They can't even play a full game yet.
Most international leagues are just they're still playing exhibitions. Yeah, I mean they're still warming up for their August start of the season. So we have this convoluted schedule that no one else in the world has when there are these international friendly periods and we're still playing league games. But again, you have to make it work within the American sports scene. You can't be playing into the late fall against the NFL. So it's just a little bit different culture down here.
Yeah, you got to deal with the monster in this country. Yeah. You got to avoid the NFL if you can. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
I wrote a story. I talked to Gary Payton yesterday, and the contrast and the similarities between his situation and Dame are incredible. They're both from Oakland. They're both point guards. Gary grew up with Damian Lillard's father. They both have the same agent, Aaron Goodwin. They both forced their way out after more than a decade in a Pacific Northwest team. Gary Payton forced his way out of the Seattle Supersonics. Dame's trying to get out of the Portland Trailblazers. Of course, Gary Payton came here, won the championship in 2006. And what I love about what Gary Payton told me yesterday at Kaseya Center was, yeah, I went to the Lakers with Mailman to try to win a championship with Kobe and Shaq. And I came here to try to win a championship with Dwayne and Shaq won. And he goes, don't give me a negative about chasing rings. That's why we play the game, to try to win a championship. And Damian Lillard has had such few opportunities to do that in Portland. He deserves a chance alongside Jimmy, alongside Bam, to play for a championship. There's nothing wrong with it. You've mentioned, Big O, over the years, the hockey similarities where you let a Ray Bourque or someone go to win a championship somewhere because it's only fair. So if you get a chance, that's online in your paper this morning in your driveway at the Sun Sentinel. But you know what? If the glove, a Hall of Famer, Gary Payton could have done it, nothing wrong with Damian Lillard trying it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. He deserves that opportunity. He gave everything that he could possibly give to the Portland Trailblazers. Nobody should be mad in Portland. He deserves an opportunity that he's never going to get in Portland. So follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Ira, as always, thank you. We'll catch up next week, my friend.
Catch you next week. I'll bring our special guest star, Damian Lillard. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. All right, good stuff with Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA reports.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. There's the Dade County Youth Fair, baby. We got Youth Fair Day at Lone Depot Park. This will be the last game for Miguel Cabrera. Yep, in here in Miami, okay, because he's retiring. So this will be his final game here in Miami. You see that QR code that's there? You have to use that QR code to buy the tickets. You're also making a donation to the Youth Fair Foundation, which helps all kinds of kids programs. So basically, you're going to the game and you're writing off the tickets because it's a donation. So you want to treat your friends, your family members, your son, your daughter, whatever, buy a pair of tickets, buy 4, buy 10, you can write it off. It's a donation. So this will be the Youth Fair Day at Lone Depot Park, 1:40 in the afternoon. Come on, man, get away from work, little day baseball. You get to see Miguel Cabrera for the final time in Miami. Youth Fair Day at Lone Depot Park, baby. Let's go. Plus, you're helping a great cause because this helps all kinds of kids' programs. So it's very important. Youth Fair Day at Lone Depot Park. All right. We got Inter Miami on tomorrow, Leagues Cup against Atlanta, 7:30. Marlins are off tonight. Tomorrow, they will visit the Rays, see if they can start winning some games. Sean, we got it. Let's get some victory cigars lit up. First of all, let's give a victory cigar to the Miami Marlins yesterday in the 10th inning. Arias gets a RBI single and drives in the winning run in a 3-2 win to avoid the sweep and avoid a 9-game losing streak. They snap it, so 8 straight, and they finally win 3-2. Give the Marlins and Rays a victory cigar, Sean. Friday night, Messi lines up for a free kick outside the box, and he nails it for the winner against Cruz Azul in the Leagues Cup. And Inter Miami, not advances because they're not. Cruz Azul is not eliminated. You double elimination in this tournament. So, but at least that they advanced with the win, which is the important part. But more importantly, they get a victory cigar. And on Sunday, in the middle of the night, Sean's daughter decides to have a child. Not in the afternoon. No. We got to do it in the middle of the night, making our one and only Sean Stanley a grandpa. A victory cigar to you, sir. We go. And by the way, have you visited the Perdomo retail store at the Perdomo factory right off of the Palmetto and 57th Avenue? Come on, man. What are you doing? Let's go. Get out there. Miami Lakes. They got every Perdomo cigar you would ever want right there in that humidor. And plus, they've got this giant lounge, like a 30-foot leather couch, beautiful TV, a pool table. Nick Perdomo's hanging around so you can check out the superstar, take a picture with him. Great dude, by the way, great family. Janine is there. Nick Jr. is there. Arthur might be there too. Say hi to all of them. Great people. But check out the retail store. Plus, you know, the whole factory's there, man. It's like it's a place where there's like
millions of cigars. I don't know about millions, but at least definitely at least 1 million. It's a crap ton of cigars in there, bro. It's where they ship them out to everywhere, all over the country. It's a cool place to visit. Check it out if you're a cigar aficionado. And you will be a winner there, and you will be able to light up a cigar. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, Alan Popart will join us at 11 o'clock. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Give me 2 minutes here. Hour number 2 of the Big O Radio Show. Of course, mastered by the one and only Grandpa Stanley. Comes back in 2 minutes.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Walton Rheaume is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Walton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Walton Rheaume can help. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJD Construction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJD Construction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, hour number 2 of the program, ready to rock and roll. Frankie Fresco, thanks for the super chat. Congrats, Sean. Grandpa Life. There you go. Thank you, Frankie. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And there's a nice little dip right now in Bitcoin. So if you want to make a Bitcoin, I love me some Bitcoin donations. Those are the ones that get me excited the most, a little Bitcoin donation. So if you want to make a little Bitcoin donation to Cash App or Venmo, you can do it at Cash Big O Show. Rick D-Man sends in on Cash App. He says, remember what I said about the MLS leapfrogging the NFL? Thank you, sir. And then he sent in a second Cash App. Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show is the address. Cash Big O Show. Says for 10 years, we go 10 years. NFL is my number one. But he thinks the MLS will end up passing it up. We shall see. We shall see if the MLS passes the NFL. I don't know about that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll definitely pass Major League Baseball and hockey and be the number 3. They need to buy a lot more international players to take it to another level. But it's growing, man. That I can't argue with that. It's just hard to take down the NFL. The NFL is just a monster, dude. Just an absolute, the most powerful league in the world. The NFL is the most powerful league in the world. Period. No league produces more money than the NFL. End of story. They're just monsters. It's crazy. But what are you going to do? Messi is the star, but Busquets will be the engine that makes this work. Yeah, he's definitely, obviously he'll be setting everything up. Elon said, bleep Twitty bird, bro. Yep. We are, couple things over the weekend, right? That we had going on. First of all, we had Twitter is no longer, you're no longer sending a tweet. You're sending out, what are we sending out now? An X? I sent out an X. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So Elon is rebranding Twitter to X now. No longer tweets or Twitter. It's X. Sean is a grandpa. We've got heat waves everywhere. Okay, boy, Sean, are you going to Dolphins practice?
Probably not as often as you, but yes, I will be out there.
Oof. When's our first practice? Is it Sunday with everybody else, or do we get to go before that? I don't even know now.
I haven't received anything yet, so.
Okay, because I know Sunday's the first
Sunday's
open
the first
practice.
one, July 1st. Yeah.
Yeah, but does the media get access before that to any of the other practices?
I believe we got access before that, yeah, because there's going to be 3 practices. It starts Wednesday, right, Thursday, Friday, off Saturday, and then the fans start coming on July 1st to Sunday.
Boy, the heat out there, dude.
Yeah.
How do you do Disney, and how do you – wow. Damn, dude. It's nasty. Nasty.
But by the way, prayers for our friends in Nova Scotia. Jesus, the floods in Nova Scotia. Man, that's some scary stuff, dude. I mean, it was catastrophic. They got like 3 months of rain like in one day. Nuts. And then we got fires in the Greek islands too. We had the fires in the Greek islands last year also. And they were like, trying to keep it away from some of the historic stuff too at the same time. So, a bunch of stuff going on around the world. What else do we have? I-95 is so horrible during the afternoon or school days. Well, no school days right now. That we got rid of those damn school people. Those damn kids, those damn teachers. They're always in our way, right? Jesus, those people, man. Hey, they're just like pains in the asses. And I'm married to one too. Cluttering up the streets, these teachers. What the hell is going on? Sean, I know that you were busy becoming a grandfather, so you didn't have any time to see Barbie or Oppenheimer. No? I'm going to say no.
I did not, but my daughter did see Barbie, my other daughter.
Oh, okay. I am not going to see Barbie, no matter what. I don't know if my daughter and my wife are going to go see Barbie, but I'm not going to go see Barbie. Oppenheimer, I would see. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but that would be one that might lead me to the theater. I might go see it. Long-ass movie. So it brought in $80 million, Oppenheimer. Barbie brought in $155 million. Brought in 337 globally. That's crazy. I don't know about you guys, but wow. And by the way, give me a scouting report on Oppenheimer. Don't give anything away. Don't be mean here, okay, on the chat board. But tell me, was Oppenheimer good? Was it all right? Was it mediocre? What's the deal? And I don't know, if you're a male and you watch Barbie, I would love to know. It's the other thing I would like to know if any of you actually went to if you live in the Buffalo area, Rochester, did anybody go to the Grease Pole Festival? That's what I need to know. Okay. Have you ever heard of this, Sean? The Grease Pole Festival?
No, I have not.
It's actually a Puerto Rican thing. And it's a Puerto Rican type of celebration that they do in Buffalo every year. Okay. Yeah, I know. There's Puerto Ricans in Buffalo. Yeah. Anyway, so they apparently have a contest where there's poles that are greased up. And the contestants are also all greased up too. And so they got to get to the top of the pole to grab some kind of rag or something up there. So that's why it's called the Grease Pole Festival. You guys got to go online and check it out. Grease Pole Festival. Go on YouTube and just put that exactly, and it'll come up, and it's funny, dude. I mean, it is a trip what those people are doing. That looks like actually a fun thing to go check out. Not that I would ever do it, but I would laugh at people doing it. Big O, you're ribbing Sean being a grandpa. Shaking my head. Oh, Grandpa Sean, bro. It's just I've never had a producer that's a grandfather.
Rib away, buddy. Rib away. Kai Jackson has my heart.
I've never worked with a grandfather. It's like this is groundbreaking stuff here. So, what can I tell you? Thumbs up. That's it. The only reason I would ever watch Barbie is to see Margot Robbie. But outside of that, I'm okay. Exactly. I would agree.
Margot Robbie is hot. Adam says, I saw Oppenheimer last night here at a drive-in theater in Indy. It was good, not great. Cillian Murphy did a good job playing Oppenheimer. Okay. Kind of long, right? Yeah, Nyborg, it's called the Grease Pole Festival. Yeah. Yeah. So wait, people were watching Oppenheimer and then watching Barbie. Interesting combination. Yeah, what are they calling it? Barbenheimer? Right? I think it's Barbenheimer weekend or something is what they're calling it. Sounds sexual. Well, you know, a grease pole can be sexual. Can I tell you? There's probably TV shows where people are marrying grease poles. Big O, I got one better for you than the grease pole climbing. Have you seen the India chest slap competition? No. You got to check it out. India chest slap competition. Okay. Yeah, I heard about Sounds of Freedom. I have not watched the movie myself, but I have heard about Sounds of Freedom. It's Maziel or whatever is the lead actor. The guy from it's this show that I used to like to watch with Tanji P. What's the name of that? What's the name of I love that show from, I forgot it, Menziel or Janziel or whatever the guy's name is. Now I'm forgetting. What's the name of that show with Taraji P. Henson and him? That's like the show that put Taraji P. Henson like on the map, right? That show there. Jim Caviezel. That's it. That's the guy. What was his show?
Were you
not
talking
Pretender.
Empire?
No, not Empire. Not Pretender. Not Profiler. Not. Damn it, bro. I hate that I have to now go look it up. I love that show too, man. And he was kind of like a wanted guy, but he was doing good things. Person of interest. Thank you. I knew somebody would get it before I had to look it up. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. Love that show. Person of interest. So Jim was in that show with Taraji. And that was a really, really good show. I enjoyed it because it reminded me a lot of like The Pretender, you know? So that's kind of why. And I knew there was a P involved, Pretender, Profiler, Person of Interest. You know, I knew that there was something in there. I was just trying to jog the memory banks there. But I love Person of Interest, dude. Excellent show. Pat in Nashville says, I'll see Barbie. Ryan Gosling is a great comedy. Watch The Nice Guys. Dolphin fans need to have their own Indian slap competition to settle differences of opinions. Started the guy from Lost as well. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. But I look at him more for Person of Interest than anything else. That's, for me, that was the show that I kind of, will give Jim like, okay, that's how I got to like really know him and say, okay, this guy's pretty cool. Let me give you some birthdays today and some music history. Let's do that right now. Get a little bit on the lighter side. By the way, speaking of lighter side, did you guys see that Tom Brady and Irina Shayk are dating? So all that stuff about Kim K and all that was not true. Although Kim K was here this Friday with the Messi thing. How about LeBron? He wasted no time, huh? Boy, that guy wants to be in the middle of everything. But that was a who's list there. But Tom Brady was spotted with Irina Shayk. She's all right. She's nothing special, dude. Can't say I'm impressed with Irina Shayk, kind of a skinny girl. Maybe that's more his type, But for those of you that thought maybe the Kim K thing was real, it was not. Yeah, Sean.
About an hour ago, Lions camp safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson, right leg non-contact injury, was carted off the field.
Oh, wow.
That was their big acquisition.
And
try to help out that defense.
And Naeem Himes, the special teamer for the Bills, also out for the year with a knee injury.
Did you hear about that? The incident?
No.
Apparently, he was sitting on a jet ski, and somebody ran into the jet ski that he was on.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. So then that may not be covered. He might be screwed. His salary may not be covered.
It says right here, Bills standout running back Naeem Himes was injured seriously but not fatally when another rider struck him while he was still seated on a jet ski, per NFL media. Himes will need surgery and will be sidelined in 2023.
And for those of you asking, this has nothing to do with Dalvin Cook. He's a special teamer, a backup running back, not a running back. He's kind of a special teamer. That's what he is. So it's completely different positions. They'll try to find another scat back for that. Anyway, today in music history, in 1990 on this date, a case against Judas Priest opened in Reno. The band was accused of planting subliminal messages in their album Stained Glass that led two young fans to attempt suicide. Later they would be cleared of wrongdoing, of course. In 2005, on this date, Lollapalooza Festival wrapped up following the sets of Weezer, The Killers, Arcade Fire, The Black Keys, Death Cab for Cutie, Satellite Party, The Pixies, The Kaiser Chefs, Widespread Panic, Dinosaur Jr., and Cake. It's a pretty good lineup, by the way. In 78 on this date, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, starring Peter Frampton, opened up in New York. In 93 on this date, U2 started a 2-week run at number 1 on the album charts with Zooropa, the group's 4th album to top the charts. In 97 on this date, Police gave Oasis singer Liam Gallagher a formal caution after he admitted to criminal damage. The rocker confessed to grabbing a bike rider from the window of his chauffeur's driver's car and breaking the man's sunglasses. He is one special kind of asshole, Liam Gallagher. In 82, Survivor began a 6-week run on the top of the singles charts with Eye of the Tiger from the Rocky III soundtrack. Survivor is that band that people just don't give much credit to. And some of you are out there going, what do you mean credit? Why would you give Survivor any credit? And the thing is, everybody knows them for Eye of the Tiger, right? But they have Burning Heart, which was also used in another Rocky movie, which was another hit of theirs. I Can't Hold Back, which was a huge song. High on You, which was another huge song. The Search Is Over, which was another huge song. It's like they had 5 or 6 hits. They were bigger than what everybody imagines. Most people don't give Survivor, oh yeah, Eye of the Tiger, and then they forget about all the other hits that they had. It's funny like that Survivor doesn't get that kind of love. Because they're actually a very interesting thing. We've talked about this in the past. Santana was so amazing has been so amazing. Why? Maybe the most amazing artist in this sense. nobody has had more hits with different singers than Santana. He's probably had hits with like 7 or 8 different singers, which is just stupid to think that you can make the kind of music and then just add different singers, right? And there have been bands, Genesis, Iron Maiden, Rainbow. There have been bands that had to change their singers, Jefferson Starship, and they went on to have success still, right? Survivor is one of those bands most people don't know. Like the person that sung Eye of the Tiger is not the same person that sung all the other hits that came after. Because the guy got sick to the point that he lost his voice. So they had to go then, after having all that success with Eye of the Tiger, they had to go and find somebody else. And they went and found somebody else that sounded a lot like him. And they didn't miss a beat. And they went to go on to write way more hits. And most people don't even know that Survivor had 2 different singers. There's a little nugget that some people may not eat. Most of you probably don't even know that Survivor's first singer got so sick that he lost his voice. Stupid facts, huh? What can I tell you? There's a lot of shit in here. Anyway, birthdays today. The amazing Jennifer Lopez, who does not age, is 54 years old today. 54. And she still looks absolutely amazing. Who else do we have here? We have a couple big birthdays today. Let's see. Kristen Chenoweth, the stage actress, is 55 years old. Danny Dyer, actor, is 46. Kyle Kuzma, he of the Overgrown Sweaters, is 28 years old. Rose Byrne, the actress, is 44. Kadeem Hardison is 58 years old. Karl Malone is 60. Linda Carter, the original and beautiful Wonder Woman, she is 72 years old today. Barry Bonds, he of the Growing Head, is 59, although it shrunk now that he got back off of it. Anna Paquin is 41. What was that? True Blood, kind of a mediocre show that got a bunch of love and not really know why it really got that much love early on. I think it was just because it was vampires and sex, but it was kind of overrated. Rick Fox is 54. Those are the folks celebrating birthdays today in music and entertainment. Okay. Oh, one more. Dr. Dre. Do you guys know who Dr. Dre's favorite rock band is? Nirvana. Can't give you time to Google this shit. Most of you aren't going to know this. Anyway, he was asked about, everybody has musical heroes and things like that. And so Dre was asked about it. He says, I'm starting to sweat right now just listening to this shit. It's bananas, Dre says, of the classic group Nirvana. Kurt Cobain, that's my favorite rock group of all time. When he goes to talk about Bleach, their 1989 debut, he says, that's one of my favorite albums ever made. I still listen to that shit to work out. Nirvana. So Dre is a big Nirvana fan. Now, Dre seems to know his musical history. The question is, does Tyreek Hill know his history? Did you see this, Sean? On Tyreek?
I saw your tweet. I saw your tweet about it yesterday. I didn't see it myself.
You saw my tweets? My
no, your ex. I'm sorry, your ex.
So here is Tyreek Hill And he's talking about his decision between the Dolphins and the Jets. And which, by the way, all came down to money, really. That's the only reason why. No state tax and all that stuff. He can, change the tune and all that. But I want you to pay attention. The audio's not great because I just recorded it off the TV. Okay. But this is from his latest podcast. I like Tyreek. Okay. I got nothing against Tyreek, but it is funny. Here we go.
Conversation came around for me to be a part of the Dolphins. It was a no-brainer. It was between the Dolphins and the Jets. Roger Staubach was my favorite quarterback with the Jets back in the day. And I was like, bro, the conversation came around for me to be a part of the Dolphins. It was a no-brainer. It was between the Dolphins and the Jets. Roger Staubach was my favorite quarterback with the Jets back in the day. And I was like, bro.
All right. I got so many things to say about this. Again, I like Tyreek. Can I just call complete bullshit on this? First of all, Roger Staubach played for the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't play for the New York Jets. So that would have nothing to do with your decision with the Jets. Okay? I don't know if he meant Joe Namath instead of Roger Staubach. But here's where I also call bullshit. Your favorite player is not somebody you didn't watch. My favorite player is Marino. I watched him. I watched his entire career, but I watched it. It's not Bart Starr, somebody I didn't watch. Nobody has. Your favorite players are the people you grow up watching, Tyreek. Please, dude. So I don't know if you meant Joe Namath instead of Roger Staubach or whatever, which I don't know, how you confuse one or the other, but, and the decision to come to Miami was purely money. It was no state tax. All of that came. That's the reason why he signed with Miami over the Jets. It has nothing to do with their history of quarterbacks. And again, where I call complete bullshit. Back in the day, brother, you're in your 20s. What do you mean back in the day? You are in your day. Okay? There's no back in the day when you're in your 20s. Just want you to know that, okay? If you're 30 years old, you don't have a back in the day. You're in the day. You're not old enough to say back in the day for anything. And again, bullshit. Complete horseshit. Your favorite player is someone you watched. That's why they're your favorite player, because you watch them every day. You watch this game and that game and this great moment and that great moment. If you didn't live Wilt Chamberlain's career, there's no way he's your favorite player. If you didn't live Oscar Robinson's career, there's no way that Mr. Robertson's your favorite player. Sorry. It's just the way it goes. Jack Kemp is no way your favorite quarterback if you did not live in Buffalo during the 60s and you were a Bills fan. So, one, the history's kind of screwed up, and two, I call complete bullshit on that. My favorite player in baseball is Mike Schmidt because I grew up watching Mike Schmidt. My favorite player in basketball, hanging from my wall right there, the Doc. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s watching Dr. J play. Fish to save Pittsburgh, you name it. That's my guy. Choking Larry Bird, but I lived it. That's your favorite players. You live it. My favorite Heat player is Dwayne Wade. I lived it. My favorite player is not Pistol Pete Maravich. I appreciate it. I admire him, but I didn't live it. So your favorite players are always players you live, because there's no way you can get attached to a player you did not watch his career. Sorry. It doesn't make sense. My favorite boxer of all time, Sugar Ray Leonard, because I watched his ass come up from the Olympics all the way through. I lived it. My favorite person with an Expos hat, Alan Popart. I lived it. And he's next.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Popart in our EJD Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right. He's back. How you feeling? You feeling good?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Just having fun at Tyreek's expense. Did you catch his last podcast?
I did not. What I miss? I heard your rant about your favorites growing up because you watched them.
Yeah, of course.
So what happened?
You don't have a favorite player that you didn't watch. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, my favorite player is Babe Ruth. Really? Come on, bro. Come on.
No,
so Tyreek, one, he has his history all screwed up. And two, he has his players all screwed up. And also, I call bullshit.
Conversation came around for me to be a part of the Dolphins. It was a no-brainer. It was between the Dolphins and the Jets. Roger Staubach was my favorite quarterback with the Jets back in the day. And I was like, bro.
Who did you say, Roger Staubach?
Oh, your mic, go. Your mic.
Can't hear you.
All right, sorry.
First
of all, Roger Staubach didn't play for the Jets.
Correct.
So that's you have your history all screwed up. Two, if you meant Joe Namath, whatever, but you chose Miami over the Jets simply because of the money, the no state tax. It had nothing to do with any player. And in the end, where I call complete bullshit, even if you meant Joe Namath is not your favorite player. And by the way, you're 28 years old or 29. There is no back in the day. You're in your day, bro. You're not even old enough to say back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a fucking break. I hear a 21-year-old says back in the day. Shut the hell up, bro. Shut the hell up.
Back when I was 7 years old.
Yeah, you got 3 pubics between your legs. There is no back in the day, dude. You're 21. Shut the hell up. So, and nobody, your favorite player is not somebody you didn't watch, dude. That's how they become your favorite player, because you saw them win this game, have all these 100-yard games or 30-point games or home runs or whatever. I became a Mike Schmidt fan because I was a Phillies fan. I grew up with Schmidt at third base. I emulated the guy. I played third base when I played baseball. I watched him win Gold Gloves, all that shit, dude. I got a 6-foot poster right here of Dr. J, because I fucking grew up watching Dr. J do his shit. That's your favorite players you grew up watching. So there's no way, even if he meant Namath, I call that complete bullshit, because you didn't live his career, bro. Hell, his whole career isn't even on film, dude. I mean, give me a fucking break. So it's just so funny. It's just,
makes you wonder why would he even say that though? It's so weird. It's like,
yeah. And we all know it was money anyways. He said it last year at one point about the finances. I forgot how I'm paraphrasing, but like I'm a mature man. I could see the obvious or whatever or something. I forgot how he phrased it, that the money was going to be better here and all that. Come on, bro.
Yep.
Or Roger Staubach.
That's funny.
I see right there. Obviously, that's his co-host, so he's going to cover for him. But the funny part would be, oh, really? So what was his nickname? And I would love to see what he says after that, because there's no way he'll come up with Roger the Dodger. No freaking way he'll come up with that. You know what I'm saying? So, just whatever. But it's just funny. It's just funny.
It's
anyway.
silly. It's silly more than anything else. It's like, why, dude? And I don't know. Whatever. No, it's his podcast. He can say whatever he wants on it.
I mean, the 2,000-yard thing was hilarious too. So let me see. The coach now wants to run the ball more. He just got another back that he wants to spread the ball around a little bit more. He's trying to create an offline tight end position between two guys that he wants to get involved more in the offense. You know what I'm saying? They just got the ideal slot receiver, and you're going to get 2,000. It sounds great, but really, if you're getting 2,000 yards, something went wrong with the Dolphins this year.
But
that's what I'm going to tell you. You know what I mean?
No, but here's where I will give him credit. At the very least, he tacked it on with, I want 2K plus another Super Bowl. So
right.
I'll absolve him of that. It's fine, dude. Shoot for whatever number you want. That's perfectly fine with me. That's fine. I mean, 2,000 is a hell of a target. So, I mean, go for it. If it produces a Super Bowl, more power to him.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's got a chance to be, this generation's Deion Sanders on offense, and so he gets to go win, a championship with two different teams, the way Deion, when he left San Fran and went to Dallas, or what, it was like that, right? Or was it Dallas to San Fran? How was it now?
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question.
Shit.
San Francisco was 94. Dallas won in 92, 93, 95, but I don't know which team Sanders was part of. Who knows? I don't know.
How come I'm thinking San Fran to Dallas?
Okay.
I'm thinking whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. He did that and brought a championship to another team to kind of finish them off a little bit, that they needed it. And, Tyreek will have the same opportunity, that'll be something special for him, because obviously watching Kansas City win last year, that must have been a little, rough for him, because that could have been his second championship, overall. But if he gets one here with a different team, that becomes a really big thing, for him. So overall, the 2,000-yard stuff is fun, but I'm hoping that's not the case, because I'm hoping it's the other thing, the balance happens. I think that's way more important for the Dolphins, to have the balance that they kind of stayed away from at times last year.
Yeah, if he's going to get 2K, you want it within the context of a team that goes really far, because I think, unless I'm mistaken, when Calvin Johnson got awfully close, I could be wrong, but I don't believe Detroit had a very good record. So, again, if it's done within the context of a winning season, great.
Yeah. That poor guy didn't have a winning record a lot of times, bro.
Not very often, no.
No. Dalvin Cook, he was at a
camp.
You saw it?
I saw some snippets of it, yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't get it, I mean, nothing major was said, overall or anything like that at the camp, but I will play it for you guys.
Is it kind of emotional being back in Minnesota?
Yeah, I love it. It is. This place means a lot to me and my family. They gave me and my family a great opportunity, at life, and I got drafted here, so they gave me an opportunity at my dream, and I appreciate them for everything they did for me and my family.
How close are you to signing for the team?
At this moment, it's kind of just taking my time and being patient with the process. You can't rush this. This is a life decision that can, put me in a great predicament for my future. So I'm just taking my time and I'm not rushing it. And, when I make that decision, it's going to be right for me and my family.
Okay. Your thoughts there on Dalvin's situation. What are we waiting for?
The right offer. That's what he's waiting for. When he's being patient with the process, he's patiently awaiting the kind of offer that he's going to jump on. I mean, who's he trying to kid? Let's be honest. Come on. It's the same thing with Tyreek when he was, last year when his situation came up. It's like, yeah, sure, you want to play for a team that's a contender. You want to play with good offensive players. Ultimately, for most players, it comes down to this. So if he gets the offer,
he has his championship.
Who?
So Tyreek,
correct.
Obviously, sure, he wants to win another, but his priority was definitely money. He already had his championship. Now he wants to get his money. You know what I mean? That's, So
for most players, the bag is going to trump the title. No, and here's the thing. Would it be the craziest thing of all if he wound up re-signing with Minnesota at a lower price? If none of the Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, Jets step up to give him the money he wants. Now, the big news Monday morning is Nyheim Hines out for the year in Buffalo.
He's a backup special teamer. He's not a running back.
He's more of a returner.
Yeah. That doesn't affect Dalvin Cook's situation at all.
If you're a Dolphin fan, you still watch the Jets because they need to see and they need to be comfortable with Breece Hall's recovery.
But apparently he got a. You saw what the coach said. He looks strong and he looks great and all that. So
and he's still started camp on PUP. So you can
right. They're gonna slow walk it, but apparently he looks great. I don't know, whatever, So that's not good. There's no setbacks here or anything like that. So far, he's on pace, actually, apparently, Breece Hall.
No, correct.
So
but that's the team I would keep an eye on if it's not going to be the Dolphins. Looks like New England working out Leonard Fournette. I don't know, kind of indicates to me maybe that's the direction they want. Remember, they had LeGarrette Blount, who was kind of similar in terms of style a few years back. So maybe that's the kind of back they want to get to complement what they have. Ramondre
I'm going to go with cheaper option.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with cheaper option is what I'm going to go because look what happened with the receiver. He didn't sign there because they didn't offer enough. Correct. And so and Fournette is not going to ask for what the kind of money that Cook is asking for right now. And so I think New England continues to bargain shop. Is what they continue to do, and that's probably why they're bringing a guy like Fournette in.
Yeah, and I think they think pretty highly that they might have a stud on their hands with Stevenson, who's a pretty good-looking back. So I don't think they necessarily want to break the bank for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, no, they hit on the draft. They can't draft a wide receiver if their life depended on it, but they find their running backs. No, that kid, Ramondre Stevenson, right? Is Ramondre Stevenson. I like that.
Oh yeah, no, they can play. Yeah.
Oh, he can play. There's no doubt about it. He definitely is a player. All right, so basically we're just waiting for but Miami's not upping their offer at all. So is he going to sit there and wait for I still think he signs later this week. You know that? I still think he signs by this weekend. He signs. I think it behooves
he's in a rush. I think to me he might sign like middle of training camps. He's a running back. I think 2 weeks of camp would be enough to get him ready for the start of the regular season. I think his best bet is sit back, wait, and then I don't want to say hope for an injury, but monitor situations to see if somebody gets hurt, and a team with championship aspirations winds up with an immediate need at running back because of an injury, and then they might be more motivated to say, "Oh, Dalvin Cook is waiting out there."
I'm kind of torn because I wanted to disagree with you on that, but then I'm thinking about it now, and I'm going, well, if I'm not being offered big money,
and they're all telling me I'm not going to be the back. I'm part of a carousel of backs. So then there's no hurry for me to get there to try to win a job over, because I'm not going to win the number one job. And so the way I was thinking is, no, you got to get into camp so you can start to show your wares and say, yeah, no, we got to play this guy more than the other guys because he's better. But if you're not going in with that kind of attitude, maybe you are better off waiting and not taking on any extra wear and tear, and you're still going to be part of a carousel of backs one way or another. Maybe you're right. Maybe it doesn't hurt you to wait, since you're not really.
But here's the other thing: is he's a known commodity. So if any team had decided by now that we need to bring this guy as our number one guy, that would have been done already with an offer proportionate to that. So that the fact that that hasn't happened tells you nobody's going to pay him the kind of money he wants at this point. So there's no reason for him to make unless at some point maybe he's going to get the itch if he sees training camps going on all over the place, and he's going to get like, I want to play, I want to get back, and this is what I do, and maybe that will trigger him doing something. But I think, and I'm sure his agent is in the background telling him, hey, Dalvin, be patient, something's going to happen, something's going to come calling with a better offer.
All right, so I guess the Dolphin Nation doesn't need to panic. Drew Rosenhaus said yesterday that Connor Williams and Zach Sealer will be reporting to camp. So will Christian Wilkins, which tells me all talks are moving in a very positive pace. And the other thing, the part B of this question for you to answer, I think Chris Grier does a marvelous job overall of communicating with agents and players. He doesn't end up with a lot of situations that are full of animosity. In other words, he finds a way to kind of avoid most of those situations. You're never going to be perfect. It's going to happen. But you're overall, I think he does a pretty good job of that.
Well, two parts here. On the first part,
the X situation.
No, I was going to mention that they navigated that pretty well overall, that it was a very touchy situation where it was kind of like a move. They made a slight adjustment to the contract in 2021 with a promise to look at it again the following offseason, which they did, and they took care of it. So from that, they navigated, and this was one of their prime players. So
never any negative talk from Chris Grier and the never, like nothing. Like there's never any animosity. There's never a back and forth public stuff and all that. Nothing, dude.
No, but that's also kind of productive. And as far as the other guys are concerned, I mean, let's be honest. To me, as much as it is that talks are still amicable, is the fact that players get fined $50,000 a day for not showing up, and those fines, unlike those in the offseason, can be rescinded. Like what Chris Jones is doing in KC is I don't want to say unprecedented, but it's because I'm top of my head, I can't remember if anybody's done it since the new CBA, but it's rare because he's basically flushing money down the toilet. Though the way he's looking at it is, if I wind up getting $30 million a year, which is what apparently he's looking for, what's $50,000 a day for, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks. But you just don't see guys doing the holding out now because of the fines that can be rescinded. What I'm curious about is whether any of those guys are going to quote unquote hold in, and when practices start, whether you're going to see Connor Williams practice, whether you're going to see Zach Sealer practice, whether you're going to see Christian Wilkins. All those guys are looking for extensions, and the Dolphins have quite the list.
Yeah, that'll be. But at least if you get them in camp, there must be at least something good happening at this point. They must be progressing. I personally think there was not going to be any kind of holdouts with any of these guys. I think they'll eventually get them all done, including Wilkins. And I know there's been all kinds of, does he deserve 16 or 18 or 20 or whatever the hell? He's going to be somewhere in that 18 to 20 range, whether you like it or not. And eventually, when the deal's 2-3 years in, you're going to go, oh, well, it's not such a bad deal anymore when they're up in the 20s, getting to 30. You know what I mean? So it's all the same bullshit that happens in every one of these contracts, that we think they're overpriced at the moment. And then 2 years later, we realize this is kind of the market and it's just the way it's set. So to me, I
at no point have I panicked and worried about those three guys. I think those three guys will all get done. Do you agree with that at least?
I'm not 100% sold. I'll be honest with you. I think
the Wilkins one, you do think it'll get done?
I'm not sure because again, the Dolphins always have the option next offseason of using the franchise tag. I think they may want to see what's he look like in the Vic Fangio scheme. And I like Christian Wilkins. The player's gotten better every year. I'm going to maintain. You still want to see him be more of a factor. Sorry?
Do you really have any trepidations whatsoever about that player in any scheme?
I have trepidations about paying that player $20 million a year if he doesn't give you more in the pass game. Yeah. Again, considering the number of $20 million a year players that they're going to have on the roster already next year, at some point you can't give everybody huge contracts.
No, but not everybody is Tyreek Hill, Christian Wilkins, and guys like that. Yeah.
But again, Tyreek Hill and Christian Wilkins are like, Tyreek Hill is like a massive difference maker. Christian Wilkins is a difference maker in the run game, but the 2023 NFL is more about the passing game. And Christian, can we say he's a difference maker, an impact player in the pass game on defense? I don't know.
Yeah, because he pressures. Really? He pressures. Yeah, he pressures. I think the sacks go up this year with Phillips and Chubb picking up the slack. I think that's what's hurt him, that his ends haven't been dominant and take that pressure off of him. He's probably put more pressure on them than the other guys do on a consistent basis. I think they got to worry more about Christian Wilkins than everybody else. He does get a lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He does pressure the quarterback too. Yeah. So I
haven't felt him enough as a pass rusher, to be very honest with you. And I like Wilkins. I think he's a good player. He also brings a lot of intangibles to the defense. I just haven't felt him enough. And again, we're talking about the guys who've gotten the big contracts, for the most part, also are impact players as pass rushers. The interior defensive linemen like Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, like Quinnen Williams.
And he impacts more than they do in other ways also, with the tackles and the tackles for losses, that kind of stuff. So it's a mix of both. You know what I'm saying? Where he hasn't gotten as much of the sacks, but then you can't hold it against him when he does better than everybody else in other areas too. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give him some love there too. It's almost like we're not giving him the credit for also being great against the run too, and putting some pressure on the pocket. Because he does put pressure on the pocket. He just hasn't gotten the end results. I mean, Jalen Phillips put a lot of pressure on the pocket. He just didn't end up getting the results on the sack side of it. But he did get pressures. He did get a lot of them.
That's fair. Where I disagree with you, and I completely agree with you, he is, here's the famous word that we always use, he's elite as against the run. You'd like him a lot more so far in his career, and I'm not saying it can't happen this year. And if it happens this year, he'll get his bag. In terms of a pass rush, of the three players, though, Sealer, Williams, and Wilkins, the only one who's clearly underpaid for 2023 is Sealer. I mean,
he's been underpaid. He's been underpaid every year. He's been a Dolphin, bro.
Correct.
Every year he's been a Dolphin. He's been a steal from the second they picked him up. He's been making plays. Yeah. He's a Rodney Gadsden on defense.
So he's got to make a bigger gripe than those guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. There's no doubt. Yeah. Sealer is one of those guys that has been one of the biggest finds they've ever had here in the last few years.
And Robert Hunt needs an extension too. And I'm a big Robert Hunt fan.
Yes, yeah, definitely needs one too. All right, what do you got going on in Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
Well, I addressed the situation we just talked about with the camp players showing up, Williams and Sealer, and what's next as far as those situations. Colleague Omar Kelly is going to do a column this afternoon on what he's going to be looking for the first few days of training camp, and I'm planning on doing a notebook later on today, which will include, among other things, a couple of former Dolphin friends getting workouts today, including Isaiah Ford and Reed Sinnett.
Well, we're sin it to win it, bro. That's just the way it is, you know. Things of that nature. Follow him on Twitter at Popart NFL and catch him doing his thing here twice a week with our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And by the way, did you see this over the weekend, Poop? Because this is actually the most important thing that happened all weekend right here. Grandpa Sean.
Nice. Congrats, Sean. Very nice.
How about that? Huh?
Congrats.
Grandpa Sean. Working it.
Yeah, very nice.
Love it. Look at that.
And I have to point out too,
he's got a Cutter's Edge hat on, even a plug and everything for one of our sponsors.
Very nice. Hey, I love the blinking Eiffel Tower behind you. I don't know if that was some kind of an ode to my just completed vacation in Europe, where we got to see this bad boy up close and personal.
Well, that's because I bought that in Paris when
I
took my wife for our 25th wedding anniversary, and and dinner at the Eiffel Tower, and gave her a new wedding ring. And so I bought that tower in Paris in stores and brought it home, and I said it would be a great thing to have in the studio, and then a great memory, obviously, of a phenomenal trip there in Paris. So
very nice.
The Olympics are going to be there next year.
You are correct, sir.
That's pretty awesome. But did you see what they're doing? The ceremonies are free.
Okay.
The ceremonies are on the Seine River.
Okay.
So people are going to line up all along the river, and the same parade that they have in the Olympics inside stadiums, and people pay, tons of money to be in it. Paris is doing it completely free, and they're doing it all on the river. How cool is that, dude? That's pretty damn cool. For a bunch of did you catch any riots while you were there? Because they love to riot over there, bro. I mean,
everything had calmed down by the time we headed over to Paris.
Those idiots love to burn that beautiful place down. Jesus Christ, man! I never understood that. We're pissed, so let's destroy our own property. Doesn't make any sense. Like, that's coming out of your taxes, right? I'm like, I don't understand that. But the French, boy, they know how to riot better than anybody else. The French are the best at rioting. Don't take their fries away, because they'll be pissed. All I gotta say.
Much deeper conversation than we should be having on this platform. But
I'm just saying, you French people just riot way too goddamn much, bro. I mean, you riot about, but then again, I mean, Macron. What is it, Macron? What's his name? Macron. I mean, he pushed retirement age to like 87. These people never see a dime. I mean, it's what are you gonna do? They're pissed. The French now have to work more. They don't like working over there. That was the problem there. So, what can I tell you? You're mighty quiet here on this one. Follow him on Twitter.
Like I said, neither you or I are equipped to handle this conversation, so I'm steering clear.
Oh, I'm more than equipped. I watch these French people riot all the time. They riot for anything, bro. They're constantly rioting. But then again, this Macron guy
for a kid getting shot by police. So that's.
Well, that one that was pretty unfair. That one they have the right to riot, but what's the deal with destroying your own shit? I just don't understand that part. That one I don't understand. It's a crazy world there in Paris. Follow him on Twitter at Popart NFL. We'll catch up next week. I mean, later on in the week, my friend. Appreciate you.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
You got it. There you go. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Alan Popart. By the way, EJD Construction, if you're looking for custom home construction, major home remodeling, you call them. 305-433-4843, Dade or Broward counties. Let's start off hour number 3. No break. Let's do it. Let's get into it. We go out of our EJD and into it with Marcel Louis-Jacques.
You've been listening to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Popart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDConstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All rise, football fans, as the Walton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques is in session.
Walton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Marcel Louis-Jacques. How are you feeling, baby? Feeling good?
Feeling good, man. Beautiful day in Miami as always. Got Pops in town right now. We're gonna take him up to Las Olas pretty shortly here, and show him the new neighborhood. You know, like I said last time around, I'm moving up north. I'm finally becoming a Broward resident, a Broward County resident, and kind of excited about that.
All right, I like it. Can you teach Tyreek Hill a little history?
Let's hear it.
Sensation came around for me to be part of it. It was between the Dolphins and the Jets. Ron Staubach was my favorite quarterback of the Jets back in the day. And I was like, bro.
I couldn't even understand him. What did he just say?
First of all, he was talking about his decision between the Dolphins and the Jets. And that, you know, hey, man, Roger Staubach was his favorite quarterback back in the day with the Jets.
Roger Staubach? You mean Joe Namath? Like,
I don't know what he meant. Either way, it's complete bullshit. Either way, there's like three fucking lies here. One, you chose Miami over the Jets because of money. Okay, money. Two, Roger Staubach didn't play for the Jets. Three, if you meant Joe Namath, you're also lying. Why? Nobody's favorite player is somebody you didn't watch.
Roger Staubach. When was Staubach with the Cowboys? What year?
Who are your
heroes?
Who are your heroes growing up?
My hero, Rich Gannon, bro. Rich Gannon with the Raiders. That was my.
You watched him.
Hell yeah, I watched Rich Gannon.
That's my point. I watched Mike Schmidt. I watched Dr. J. I watched Dan Marino. These are my favorite players, but I watch them. So that's where I also call bullshit on Tyreek. One, you don't know history. Two, if you meant Joe Namath, it didn't matter. You didn't watch Joe Namath. As I told Poop before, his whole career is not even on film, bro. Okay? All of his games in the AFL are not on film, dude. There's some that you just don't have. I mean,
watching Joe Namath on YouTube. You know what? Catching Roger Staubach highlights on TikTok. That's that's a little crazy, man. That's a little crazy, man. Maybe
that's like me telling you, yeah, Johnny Unitas is my favorite quarterback. Oh, get the hell out of here, bro. I didn't watch Johnny Unitas. How can he be my favorite quarterback, dude? Come on.
Hey, I really enjoyed Y.A. Tittle, man. Like, that was my guy growing up. That's who I was pretending to be on the schoolyard. Man, France Harkinen was him for me, dog. Like, that was...
Oh, God. Tyreek. Just say what it was about it. It was the money, bro. No state tax.
But he's already said that. You know what I mean? He's already. Like, so anything else is gratuitous. Like,
right. Like,
that's fine.
Like,
that's fine. Like,
they think we're not going to remember what you said or something like that. It's like, yo, you said it was money earlier last year, bro.
You got 30 M's a year. You got 30 million a year. That's all you really need.
And by the way, there's nothing wrong with coming here because of the money. It's, what the hell? It's what you had your title already. Now you need your big check. You got your big check. How do you read into the fact that there'll be no holdouts, that Connor, Sealer, and Wilkins will be at camp?
See, this is what we talked about last week, right? That it didn't make sense for Connor Williams not to show up to camp. He is still signed. This isn't the same as like how he's refusing to sign a franchise tag. He's still under contract right now. He would be losing money. And I think the message to Connor's camp from the Dolphins front office is that we don't not value you. We value you. We just have a homegrown guy we need to take care of first. We will take care of you after Christian Wilkins. You proved your value last season without a doubt. But Christian Wilkins has to come first right now. That is priority number one. And Christian, there was never a doubt that he was showing up to training camp. Like, again, team captain, that's really not his style. It's what he's been saying all off season is that he doesn't care about the numbers right now, doesn't care about his contract right now. Like, that's what he cares, but not enough to keep him from doing his job. He said that's why he pays people a lot of money. It's why he plays, I believe it's, I don't remember if he's with Siegel still or if he's with David Mogetta, but one of them is getting a good amount of money to handle his finances right now in his contract, and he said he's going to let them do their job. So, never a doubt, never in question whether Christian was going to show up. And the same goes for Zach Sealer. That's just not his personality.
Dalvin Cook was at a kids camp in Minnesota over the weekend, talked about patience and just playing the long game in all of this. What are you hearing? Are you hearing anything on this situation?
I'm hearing if he wanted double digits, the offer from Miami was less than half of that minimum. So it was less than half of something that would be considered a double-digit $1 million offer. So, like, if that's still what he wants, if he wants 10, not getting in here. If he wants 12, extremely not getting in here. He was offered a third of that to come here. So I'm not sure, if he's still looking for the big payday, this is not the destination for him. But we've been talking about this for months, that if he wanted a payday, you shouldn't have been talking about, I want to play back home. It'd be cool to come home and be. No, because now the Dolphins are saying, well, shoot, then we don't have to pay out the ass for you. If you want to come back home, there's a little thing we like to call a hometown discount that we're going to offer you. That is what the Dolphins are saying. So, like, I don't think he's not coming here for anything more than I would say $5 million a year. 5, maybe 5.5 incentives that maybe boosted up to 6.5 or 7. At the that's as high as it's going to stretch. But training camp, players report tomorrow. I'm not expecting Dalvin Cook to be there, obviously, when players report. He's not going to be at any camp when they report. He's going to be a mid-camp signing. It's starting to trend that way.
When's our first day? When are we allowed? I know the fans
Wednesday.
are on Sunday. Huh? Wednesday we're allowed?
Yeah. So players, they report tomorrow. And then media session is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, off Saturday, back again Sunday, Monday.
All right. Adjustments to the show schedule this week coming. That's for sure. All right. What else going on in the world of the Dolphins?
In the world of Dolphins?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it right now.
Hey, look, we'll have so much. We can get back to our 30, 40-minute sessions here in about a week or two. But for now, man, all is right in the world.
Yeah, right now there's nothing else that I can think of that's like earth-shattering right now, Dolphins-wise. I think those are the hot button topics right now for the Dolphins. I would say. By the way, did you enjoy Friday before I let you go on the Messi stuff?
Friday was indescribable, man. That was an indescribable feeling to watch this legend of the sport. To watch, it'd be like watching Pele, man. It's like watching Maradona. It's like watching, like Johan Cruyff. Like it's watching like a true legend of the sport do exactly what he's done. Like, I don't care that he's 36. The GOATs don't age like the rest of us, man. The GOATs don't age like everybody else. He's still going to be a factor. I'm not going to say that that Inter is going to all of a sudden become a playoff team now and they're going to be the best team in the MLS. But like, shit, man, Messi looked pretty damn good against Cruz Azul, who in all reality, if they were a decent team, if they were a half-decent team, Cruz Azul would have won that game by 2 goals. They were horrible in the attacking third on Friday.
That first half for Inter was unwatchable.
Oh, my goodness. I
Unwatchable.
I texted the group chat, and I said, they are about to get smoked. They're about to get smoked. But the second Messi took the pitch, man, I don't remember the last time I saw one player make such a drastic impact on the court, on the field, on whatever. He looked a step ahead. He was seeing passing lanes that other people didn't know. Just incredible stuff.
Right, but Busquets was making those passes, bro. I mean, he is going to be dangerous, dude. That's the dude that's the straw that really is going to stir the drink, actually, is Busquets, because the passes he was putting to Messi was just absolutely sick. And that's just the beginning. Wait till they get it going.
Man, we'll see. Jordi Alba should help shore up that back line. And we'll see if Suarez actually can get out of his contract in Brazil and add a little bit of stability here. Like, aging strikers do well in the MLS. So, that's except for, I think, Higuain. I don't think Gonzalo was all that good.
Well, what helps is if you have somebody to set them up, too. And that's what they have now in Busquets, that they have somebody that can set them up.
Man, I'm buying Joseph Martinez stock. I'm buying Campagna stock right now.
Yeah, I agree. Their stock should soar now with those guys on the pitch. I agree. And one of the things that I said, as a lifelong South Floridian fan, dude, I saw Pelé play, for New York and down here against the Strikers. I lived the Fusion days where they got to the Western Conference Finals with Ray Hudson as the coach, and it was exciting. I have personal great memories of soccer down here. Miami FC, when they were in the USL and the NASL, I'm sorry, and they beat 3 MLS teams in the US Open Cup, and I think lost in the quarters, if I remember correctly. I have some memories. But what Messi did on Friday, he finally made a soccer memory for everyone, not just the soccer geek.
And
I'm the local soccer geek, so I have a lot of great soccer memories. But most people don't give a shit. Friday night, I got the fringe, the on the fence person to come to my side finally and have a memory of their own now. You know what I'm saying? That's what Messi did.
I'll say, the last thing I'll say is that, it wasn't quite, it was up there. I don't know if it was better than Zlatan's debut with LA Galaxy, but it's right there. It's right there, and it's exactly, you can't draw it up any better. You couldn't draw it up any better than that. It was the most dramatic, picture-perfect, Hollywood-esque finish. I couldn't believe it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work at ESPN and doing it here twice a week with our Walton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Wednesday. I'll see you over there at camp.
Yes, sir. We back. We are so back, man. Y'all take it easy, man.
Thank God. You got it. Be good. There you go, Marcel Louis-Jacques. And don't forget to call my friends at Walton Rheaume. They know how to get it done. Those are 2 guys that have been at it for a long time, whether it's bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Listen, man, if you live here in South Florida or anywhere in Florida, you can call them 954-966-4646. Consultation is completely free. Ask for Jeff. Well, tell him that Big O sent you. Jeff is a fantastic dude, big music guy like I am. So check it out, 954-966-4646 for Walton Rheaume.
This has been another session of the Walton Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Walton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Walton Rheaume can help.
baby. Not only will they help, they'll get it done. Yes, sir.
All right, so earlier I told you about the injury to the Lions defensive back. Apparently it's not as serious as they thought. There are more tests to come, but one source put it as he's fine. So, and then also Front Office Sports put out, I'm going to say this wrong, and I apologize to all the soccer enthusiasts here. Is it Mbappe?
Yeah, Mbappe. Yeah, you did it. You did it right.
So one of the teams in Saudi Arabia.
The Arabian League, yeah, I saw that.
Did you hear the price they were going to give him?
I think it's $300 million or something like that, right?
$776 million for one season.
For one?
One. Yes. With Al Hilal. They put it in comparison. They said LeBron James, of course, all-time NBA earnings, not everything else, is $531 million. Patrick Mahomes' deal through 2031 is $494 million. The value of the Arizona Coyotes is $450 million. And the New York Mets' entire payroll is $367 million. Teach those kids to play that soccer.
It's close to the value of the Marlins because they're probably under $1 billion at this point. Wow, that was crazy. Pat in Nashville says that is a brilliant idea by France. It is. The ceremonies on the Seine River. That is amazing. What else do we have here? Extending Wilkins will send a good message. They'll get it done. I'm not worried at all about Wilkins. So, Pelé is my favorite player and could score anywhere. Messi is a great player, but he's not Pelé. That was a great game, and what Messi did, you can't get any better than that. Yep. Big O just got lunch, jumping into nostalgia. Saw Game 7 of the Cubs versus the Marlins 0-3 yesterday and have entire series, 2003 World Series, seeing Game 1 today. Boy, Anthony watches all of the classic stuff that's gone on in South Florida. Got to give him credit. What else do we have here? The Dolphins will be the same old Dolphins if Wilkins doesn't get signed because of Ramsey and X. Wilkins will get sacks along with DEs. I agree. The secondary was kind of banged up last year, and so that hurt everything. You get the ends getting more sacks and the secondary doing their job. It'll open it up for Christian Wilkins. Hey, Brandon Jones has been cleared for practice. I'm happy for him, and he was turning the corner last year as a cover guy. Mike Schmidt and Pete Rose were my favorite baseball players, and Marino's my favorite football player. And like the Montreal Expos as well, I think the Dolphins will be balanced, and Tyreek will get the 2,000 yards. I don't think he'll get the 2,000 yards. Not if they really have the balance that I'm hoping they have this year. So I would disagree with you on that. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. So, let me see. What else do we have going on? So no holdouts with Wilkins, Sealer, and Williams, which is important. Did you see it? We have this whole running back situation. And last week I'm in the car and I forgot what I was doing. It might have been going to Hialeah, but I'm listening to Tobin and Leroy, and they've got Fred Taylor on. And Fred does a really good job with Channing and Clark in that the pivot, right? It's called, right? They do an excellent job, man. I think Channing's work there is awesome. He's the guy that has the balls to ask the tough questions and some of the uncomfortable questions. I think he does an excellent job. You know, it's actually, you know, there's some real talk there, and then there's a lot of sports talk there. You know what I mean? It's completely different than what he does. Nothing wrong with what he does with Hochman. They screw around and all that, but it's not a sports show. You know, that's not a show you really learn anything from it, or you rarely get any kind of insight from that show. But on the Pivot, that's a damn good show. They do really good there. You get to find out about the athlete. The athlete is willing to talk to the guys, which is really cool. And I like Fred personally too, right? I've talked with Fred and everything. I've had him on my show in the past when I was at 640. I remember I had him on a couple times. Now, Fred, I got to tell you, he couldn't be more out of touch, which I was shocked. A guy that does as much talk as he does now on the Pivot, he actually said that he thinks that Dalvin Cook can get $14 million a year. I almost drove off the road. Like, what the hell is he talking about? If you can, and give those guys some business, listen to that crazy ass interview with Fred Taylor last week. I mean, Fred, wow. I'm not sure if you're following running backs now. Nobody's getting $14 million a year, buddy. No one is getting $14 million a year anymore. I don't know what the hell he's been watching. Dalvin's never going to even see double digits ever again. There's no 10, there's no 9, there's no 8 in his future. There's a 7 because Minnesota has, sympathy out there. But teams aren't paying running backs anymore. And again, stop using Christian McCaffrey. Okay? The Christian McCaffrey situation only happened because San Francisco is not paying their quarterbacks. And if Purdy is their guy, they won't have to pay him for a couple of years. But nobody's paying a running back when they're paying their quarterbacks. And they got to pay a receiver, a defensive end, a tackle, a shutdown corner, like the really important positions. But when I heard Fred say that, I swear I almost crashed my car. I was like, can you be any more out of tune? Do you have any idea what's going on in this league? And it's like, yo, man. I mean, you guys do a pretty hip talk show. There's no doubt about that. Do a good job of interviewing, but man, my man Fred Taylor's got to have a better feel for what the hell is going on in this league. Because nobody's giving Dalvin Cook $14 million. You got to be high as hell to think that you're going to get $14 million. You got to be drunk off your ass if you think you're getting $14 million from anybody. Oh, I don't want Suarez, so that would mean Campana is going to get traded. Well, you want everybody to keep their ear. That's the thing, Josh. It's pretty smart on your part because if you bring Suarez here, then he starts biting everybody's ear. That would be a problem. Yes, sir.
Woody was on with Rose this morning.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, with Suarez, the thing that I didn't know about, and again, you know how all the TAM and all those craziness that MLS got.
Those 6 positions that they weren't using, the whatever they're called.
They only had one filled the whole season, waiting for all this to transpire. Well, Suarez won't be a DP player. He would fall into that because he would take a pay cut to come to here. It's already been worked out on that side. It's the problem is I think he can't get out of his contract, right? With the other with Brazil. That's right now the only holdup. Other than that, he's ready to come in. Is it because he's coming in under that TAM or one of those spots there, not as a DP player.
Right. There's a whole
They
bunch
worked
of
it out. I mean, yeah. MLS has worked it out to make sure that everybody's going to be fine here. Everybody, bring them all.
Yeah. Well, I think they learned their lesson from the first go around when they did things the wrong way and had 5 illegal DP players. I think they should have learned their lesson by now, and they're not going to commit the same mistake, and they'll get everything approved through the league. So, if Tyreek Hill ever got 2,000 yards, that means the run game has been terrible, and Waddle would have been injured, probably. Big O have vintage football saved as well. Blessed to hear Pat Summerall and John Madden. Yeah. Big O, will Mike McDaniel still be calling plays for the offense? Yes, he will be, I think. Fred, he's trying to get the brother paid. Yeah, that Marcellus, Fred Taylor has no power, no influence like every other media member. So he's not helping shit. And if he thinks he's helping, then that's really dumb. So he's not helping shit. Okay? Fred Taylor has no influence on anyone in the NFL. Okay? No general manager in the NFL gives 3 flying fucks what Fred Taylor thinks. They're not listening to him. They don't care what he thinks. They're not going to follow what he thinks. All I know is Fred Taylor has 0 clue on what's going on with running backs, and he played the position. Okay? I like him, but my God, that was ridiculous what I heard. Ridiculous. Fred also said that Barkley and running backs are not getting paid because of some part of race. Nah, yeah, I heard that. That's weak ass bullshit. So that I don't follow any of that. Running backs are not getting paid because they're running backs, and they're interchangeable. It has nothing to do with race, and Dalvin Cook ain't getting no $14 million. Fred just was. I don't know how anybody could be that off, put it that way. I don't know how anybody could be a former player that is doing a current show, and I don't know how anybody could have a lesser feel for what's actually really going on in the league. You couldn't be more misinformed than what Fred Taylor said in that interview. Put it that way. Race. That's a fucking joke. It's nothing to do with race. It's just running backs. You're not worthy anymore. You're not valued anymore. Live with it. Fullbacks were just like that too, and it had nothing to do with race, whether you were white or black or whatever. Fullbacks are not needed anymore. That's just the way it goes. You don't have wedge busters anymore on special teams. Shit gets phased out, bro. You don't need kickoff returners. You only need a punt returner now. Shit gets phased off. Has nothing to do. See, here's my problem with the race game. Okay? Here's my problem with the race game. Okay? And this comes from a minority. We have too many people that play the race game and use it as a crutch. Everything ain't about race. Sorry. Are there some things about race? Of course. But when you're constantly using it for that, then that's where you water it down. That's where you ruin it, actually, for the situations when it's really about race. You can't make everything about race because it's not right. Because we have grown when it comes to race, right? We have and biases and all that kind of stuff. Do we have people that still are anti-Semitic or dislike blacks or gays or are unfair to women or all kinds of different Asians that get a lot of hate? Yes, of course we have all of that. But we do have Asian officials that become governors and senators and CEOs, and we have
gays that become mayors and governors and CEOs, and we have blacks and Hispanics that same thing. We have minorities that have success in all kinds, way more than they did 20 years ago, 40 years ago, billion times more than 60 and 80 years ago. So don't tell me we haven't evolved. We've evolved. Are we where we need to be? Of course not. But when people like Fred Taylor use a weak-ass argument, and he's right that he threw race in there with the running back position, that's just ignorant. That's just misinformation. And all that does is create more bullshit that we don't need. We don't need excuse makers in this world. We don't need whiners in this world. And that's the kind of bullshit that we need to eliminate. Just like we need to eliminate bias and racism, we also need to eliminate the weak. And the weak are the ones that use everything as an excuse. The facts are that people get phased out. We've talked about this already, right? Operators and toll takers and fullbacks and paint and inside the paint play nowadays in basketball. You don't need the paint center. Does it have to do with race? No, dude. No, Fred. Shit gets phased out, dude. People don't bunt anymore, Fred. It has nothing to do with race. Okay? The goon is gone in hockey. Okay, we back? All right, we're back. So the goon is gone in hockey. Has nothing to do with race. It's a bunch of bullshit. And it's weak ass shit when people throw race out there irresponsibly, like Fred Taylor did with running backs. And by the way, if he mentions the whole Christian McCaffrey thing, that had nothing to do with race. That has to do with money. You're not paying a quarterback. So they had a 7th round pick playing quarterback. So they said, well, and Garoppolo was on a 1-year, $6 million deal. They had no money dedicated to the quarterback. That's why they can pay the running back. But if you don't know that and you use race for that, then that's your ignorance. And I'm sorry, you're not educated as a football fan. So if Fred Taylor thinks anything that San Fran had anything to do with race and not with the money situation that they're in, they have a luxury situation they're in. We're not paying the quarterback. We can pay other people then. We can get away with it for a couple of years. That's why they can get away with it. You know, as a minority, as a Hispanic, and as a guy that has been balls out his whole life, and I don't point fingers and I don't make excuses. I just ask Sean Stanley. Ask freaking Sean Stanley, who's been by me for many stops now. I just barrel through, dude. I don't point at excuses. I don't, oh, woe is me, all that bullshit. Nothing. I overcome. That's what I do. And that's how everybody should be. Not making excuses and pointing fingers and, oh, woe is me. No, dude, find a way to overcome. Okay? Because that's what Dr. Dre does. That's what every other minority in the world does. Find a way to overcome. So, what can I tell you? Race is such, I know it's an issue, but it's, let's see, what else do we have here? Not sure if will get my message. I'm having horrible internet issues today. Hopefully he can shout out for us. Oh, where are you at? Did you send something in earlier, Emilio? My wife listens to the show every day, and I am on. Today, we celebrate our 25th year wedding anniversary. Would you give us a shout out on the show? Her name is Suzette. Suzette and Emilio, happy anniversary, 25th wedding anniversary. That is awesome, dude. That is fantastic. 25 years is incredibly impressive. All right. I congratulate you guys. That's I laugh at, the people like the other day, I saw this this story of this couple. They've been married for 5 years. They went to go renew their vows. I'm like, you've been married for 5 years. That's not an accomplishment. 5 years, you're barely out of your honeymoon in 5 years. You're still playing house in 5 years. Talk to me when you get to like 10 or 15. Now you're starting to get into the range of really being married. 25 for Suzette and Emilio. Now that's studly. See, that's real marriage. 5 years. We got to go renew our vows. Are you that unsecure? At 5 years? Come on. Suzette and Emilio, see? 25. That's how you renew your vows. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50. 5 years? 5 years. If a friend of mine told me that, hey, we're going to renew our vows 5 years, I'd be laughing at them. He'd probably get pissed at me, but I'm like, come on, dude. It's 5 years. That's not an accomplishment. 5 years. It's nothing. You're playing house. Suzette and Emilio. That's the gold standard right there. 25 years. Many more to you guys. Happy anniversary. That is awesome. Awesome stuff. Big O, did you talk about Snyder selling the Washington Commanders? Thank God they got rid of that trash after the Dolphins. That's my favorite team. We talked a little bit about it last week, that it was good riddance, and thank God they got rid of that clown already. They needed to get rid of that clown. He was just terrible for the entire sport. So yeah, I'm really happy for Redskins. Commanders. Yes, sir. What happened?
I don't know. That was weird. Like your mic wasn't working when I popped up, so I went back off there. But now it's working fine. Now it seems like.
Okay. Was it out for very long?
Not just like the last couple seconds when I popped in to see. That's why I went back out so you could finish your thought. But did you see how I think but suites and tickets went up 52% once the new ownership took over for the Commanders?
Oh,
there's a report like there's a spike of 52% once he got out of the team. People started at least coming back, because again we saw that was the Commanders last year, right? The opening day, the first day of camp, and there was like 3 people there.
Yeah. By the way, isn't Magic Johnson part of this?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's a Jeter type owner or not. I don't know how much he has invested. No, but he's part of the group.
Yeah. He's just part. He's not making any football decisions, but that's not my point. My point is, does he get part of anything that fails? Like the Dodgers hadn't won since like 89 or whatever the hell it was, or Hershiser year. He's part of ownership, and they win when they win. Whatever he's part of, Starbucks, whatever, everything, all his businesses, they all succeed. I'm just saying he's a lucky leprechaun. So if Magic Johnson buys into your business, the Washington Redskins are headed for better days. He's a lucky leprechaun. Everything he gets tied to, it explodes. Doesn't matter what it is. Freaking guy's amazing. He's made so much money after basketball. It's ridiculous.
what Magic Johnson has accomplished after basketball. So I got to tell you, I it's a good omen for the Commanders fans. Really good omen. Don't forget, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. Scotty, hey, Thaler. Thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, hey, happy Monday, brother. I am taking your advice and getting fully behind Angle the Dump Ramaswamy. 2024, Yahtzee Van Dyke will win the Heisman. So you're in with Vivek Ramaswamy. You're with me. I mean, it's the only guy that looks like a normal human being. You know, Biden's terrible. Trump's garbage. What have they given us before that? Bernie and Hillary and what? Newsom. Is that clown going to run? What, RFK Jr.? My God, can you imagine listening to that voice every day? Vivek Ramaswamy is the only candidate that seems like a normal and a very intelligent human being. We got an old doddering man that can't put two sentences together or stand straight. Before that, we had an orange orangutan that is probably the dumbest human being we've ever put in office. I thought Bush Jr. was going to be the dumbest person we'd ever put in office, but Trump beat him. You know, it's like, enough already, bro. Old fart that can't stand, dumbass fools in the Vivek is the only one that, like, brother, there's intelligence there. There's substance. You know, may not agree with everything, because what candidate are you going to find that you're going to agree with everything? I know I can't find a Democrat or Republican that I agree with everything. And I'm certainly not joining either party, because both parties are garbage. But out of all of them, Vivek's the only one that I would feel good voting for, at least, out of all these clowns that are out there. So give them a listen. What the hell, right? Let's see. Magic said they're changing the name. All I know is that logo was one of the greatest logos in all of sports. And I thought of it as the name, no, because obviously you ask, you know, obviously our Indian friends, and they'll tell you the Redskin is not a term, a positive term. So I get it. But the logo itself, God, it's not like the Indians logo, the Wahoo, the Chief Wahoo. That it was kind of like making fun, because it's it's like a goofy logo. But the Redskins logo, or I'm sorry, the old Commanders logo, and like the Seminoles logo, those logos are badass, dude. They are awesome logo. I think they honor the American Indian, which I think a lot of us look at them as warriors. Big O, you heard the Washington Commanders? Well, I heard. Well, we'll see. Emilio, you heard it? Yes, sir.
No, go ahead. Sorry. I know you're talking.
No, go ahead. No, by the way, Vivek won't be a VP, Jeff, just so you'll know. He's already said that. He's not going to be a VP. He's too smart to be a VP. That guy would ruin his reputation being there with Trump. And by the way, Trump has no shot at winning, just so you'll know. That's all Trumpies that are stuck in their echo chamber. This is the most, before you say anything, this is the most amazing part of politics that's going on. The Democrats, who are useless, they're as useless as a turd on the floor. They need Trump to be there, because Biden will easily beat him. As deadbeat as Biden is, he'll beat Trump. And yet they're going after Trump so badly and trying to put his ass in jail, when what you don't want is, because if the Republicans were smart, they'd put anybody, well, maybe not DeSantis anymore, but you pick anybody else out of that field, and they'll beat Biden.
All the Republicans have to do is pick somebody that isn't Trump, and they'll beat Biden easily. And yet the party is stuck in the past, and they're going to put the orangutan out, and the orangutan's going to lose again. You know, the Trumpies won't tell you that because they're stuck in their echo chamber. But it's funny. The most useless turd is there in as a president right now, easily beaten, and the Republicans can't pick somebody else that isn't the orangutan to beat him because they can pick anybody in that Republican field, and they'll probably beat Biden. But if they put Trump out there, the average person will not vote for Trump. So Trump is not going to win. It's up to the Republicans to get smart and just lean to somebody else, and they'll easily win this race. Easily. This is set up for the Republicans to win. And yet they're going to lose because they're going to put Trump out there. And Trump's not going to win. The country will put the stupid old man back in there for 4 more sorry years. We're so screwed, it's not even funny. We got 2 parties that have no idea what they're doing. Neither party can come up with a candidate. Vivek has come out of nowhere, and he's the only one that looks like a normal human being out of all of them. All right, what do you got, Sean?
All right, Joe. Sorry, I lowered my mic when you were talking. Joe Pompliano did a breakdown of Dan Snyder when you were talking about Dan Snyder a minute ago. He had more investigations for than playoff wins, too. He sued his own season ticket holders during the 2008 recession, despite claiming the team had a 200,000-plus person wait list for season tickets. He got caught selling expired peanuts at FedEx Field from Independence Air, an airline company that had gone out of business and had not sent any new peanut shipments in a year. He was forced to buy out his partners after it was revealed he took out a $55 million loan without them knowing and charged the team a $4.5 million advertising fee for putting the team logo on his private jet. And the Washington Commanders went from first in NFL attendance in 2008 to dead last in 2023. And he goes, I can go on and on, but the worst, he got a 656% increase from what he paid to what he got bought out for the $800 million. So he's going to be sitting pretty.
He's a first-class scumbag. I mean, they only Donald Sterling beats him and Marge Schott because they were just racist. You know, I mean, that's the only thing that tops him is being racist. But this guy is just as disgusting as it gets. Yeah. So, Vivek wants the voting age to be 25. Hard no for me or anyone trying to suppress voting. Again, you're not going to find somebody that you're going to agree with everything. That's just the way it goes. So, it's just one of those deals. Young people don't vote anyways. It's a very low turnout for young people. Very low. And it's gone higher lately, but it's still not anywhere it could be. So, Trump and DeSantis have DeSantis really ruined his chance. Like, he went total fascist in the second go around here in the second term. Like, he went all out, like, I hate gays and blacks. Like, he went like all, like, he didn't show this kind of hate, you know, in the first go around. Damn, this second go around here as governor. Wow. Holy crap. That guy went all out. He ruined his stature in front of everybody. That one he's screwed. Big O, if Biden goes back, you think he will last? Yeah, bro, he'll last the whole term. That's all a bunch of bullshit. But he's still useless. It doesn't matter. He'll last the 4 years, but who cares? No, but nobody wants, deep down inside, Democrats don't want Biden. Who would want that guy? But there's nothing. They give us nothing. So we have no good candidates for 2024. Yeah. I'll settle for Vivek. Now, he won't win out of the Republicans because the Republicans won't be smart enough to pick somebody else. But, you know.
I used to live in D.C. metro area. It was so hard to get a ticket. Sad what Snyder did to those fans. It'll get back to being good again. It's a good group of owners. They should be able to turn that thing around in Washington. Yeah, DeSantis had me until he took that hard right. Yeah, I was good with DeSantis, but then he, like, Jesus Christ, he was like, I hate gays, I hate blacks. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, yeah, dude, yeah, no, you're a little extreme now. Now you're just. And he's not bad with money. He's fiscally responsible. That's the only reason I voted for his ass. I mean, Charlie Crist is a waste, a total waste. I hate that they don't give us good people to vote for. And every time we vote, we're not voting for something we feel really, 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 really good about. You know? Marianne Williamson in 2024. I don't know who the hell that is. Who the hell is Marianne Williamson? Candace Owens. I like that King short. That's funny. Oh, man. Don't forget, DeSantis had his kids building a wall in his campaign commercials. Hey, listen, don't pick on DeSantis, all right? He's right. Slaves learn some really good skills. Okay, so we all should be enslaved, according to DeSantis. We can learn some great skills that can help us down the line. You know, because black people are really, picking all that cotton. That really, yeah. Building those railroads. Yeah, that really helped. I really learned how to use a sledgehammer. I can't believe that came out. I can't believe we're teaching our kids that. Oh, God. Well, kids, let's talk about slavery. It was great. Yeah, we enslaved the black people and we taught them skills. I can't believe we're doing that. I really can't believe we're doing that. I mean, you have to laugh at how ridiculous that is. So we're going to, completely change history. Oh, Lordy. Man. Too bad. What a shame. All right, folks. I think we are out of here. I think we've talked about everything there is to talk about. We'll be back tomorrow, as always. Next week, by the way, we are. Isn't it next week, Sean, that we're off to Canton, right? I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week we're off to Canton, folks. We'll be covering Zach Thomas's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The week after that, I'll be going to Quebec and Montreal. Go see Metallica in concert and have some fun. I'll still be doing the shows while we're on the road. You know that we don't stop. This train continues. But we'll see you. We thank at least Ira Winderman, Alan Popart, Marcel Louis-Jacques, and Grandpa Sean Stanley. Congratulations to him. Thank you all out there for tuning in. If you sent in a super chat, appreciate it. You can always send in a donation anytime, day or night, whenever you're watching or listening to the show. Please hit the like button. Reach out to us on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, where you can make a donation. Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. A Bitcoin donation. There's a nice little dip going on right now. See you tomorrow, 10 a.m., same time, same place, same bat channel.